I know you missed this big juicy ass 25K for each cheat. Wagwan, we're back. It's the jam, the way it always is. JJ, Allen, and Matt, what's going on? Man, we are back. Man, very excited to be back.
A lot of y'all were upset that we had a 30-minute episode. Yeah. It's about to be long. we in it before we locked down in here today. Yes, sir.
Grab the popcorn. We are finally back. We had a little week break, need to take a breather as you always got to, but we're here and we got a very good show for y'all. Before I get into what we gonna talk about, just a little check-ins. Like, man, it was off, man.
It's been cool.
I don't know how to do this shit.
It's been
so long, bro. I turned Dominican.
Yeah.
The hair out.
I know black.
Bro, like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. It was good rest though, but like, glad to be back. Glad to be back.
I think
bro.
like literally during that break, like every time we were like, bro, I cannot wait to be back.
There was too much shit happening,
literally,
bro.
so much stuff. Like we were talking amongst ourselves, like, bro, we need a camera on us. Like,
like,
come on, a lot going on.
Literally.
It is a whopping 70 degrees outside in Chicago.
It's supposed to be 77, in total.
Yeah.
Today.
Bro, it feel good out there.
Weather's getting better, man. Everyone's being happy.
Wicker Park on me, Wicker Park.
Actually, Keith Lee was in Wicker Park.
He was in Wicker Park like a week ago.
Really?
Or no, he was actually in Wicker Park like a few days ago, right?
Oh.
Something like that.
I think so, yeah.
Hey,
he was walking
crazy.
around like just talking to people.
I didn't know that. What y'all need to know is that we're not going to continue unless you like, subscribe, share on every platform, all the above. What are you doing?
Why haven't they shared this video?
That's something that I've been wondering for the past 10 seconds. Why? Go ahead and do it now.
AB, tell them to share this video.
Share the video. Share it with your mama, your dog, your brother, your cousin. The dust particle on your floor. Share it.
You feel me? Make sure you share the video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow us on the Spotify, the Acast, the iHeart, Tumblr.
The prom.
The prom. Yeah,
all the above. Y'all get it. Follow and like and share all the above. Jesus. We're just spiraling. What we're going to be talking about today for y'all, as a, we had to jam pack it because it's our first week back in a minute. We're going to talk about Kendrick again. We got some updated news with him. We're going to talk about Austin Metcalf, that situation. I've been seeing a couple of y'all have been spam asking me for my take on that. So y'all will get this episode. We going to talk about Shannon Sharpe. Hey, man.
Hey,
Shannon.
let's get into it. What else we going to talk about, man?
We're going to talk about Harvard is suing the president currently.
Yes, sir.
There's also a tragic shooting that happened at FSU. We're going to get into all that. And then stay tuned because I know y'all want to talk. If you have not seen the movie, do not watch the Doom of the Day. We are going to be diving into Sinners and what we thought about it, all the messaging that we were able to pick up. This is hot takes because we watched it one time, last night?
Yes, last night.
And that movie was an experience. So if you want to hear that, if you've already watched it, you want to hear what we think about it, stay tuned all the way to the Doom of the Day.
Spoilers.
Expect
Yes.
spoilers.
Yes.
It will spoil
We will
it.
warn you.
Yes, forewarning. And then after that, we're going to get into our comment response. There was a lot from y'all this week, but we're only going to do like 3 or 4. So, hey, comment with #JaamTalks, and you could be one of the few that end up in the video.
Indeed.
We're going to see it either way. But you can end up in the video.
I think we got to start, you know what I mean, where we always start. Who want to start the fit checks, man?
I forgot about
the fit
that.
checks, man?
Start it off.
Start the fit checks.
Start.
You know your boy got the Travis on.
Hold on,
Got the Travis on the feet, got the BBC pants, got the Coach shirt. You feel me? I have to get a different size because this is getting a little loose.
Hold on, wait. You got some on the...
Yeah.
You got
Simple, Allen.
Let's go.
What's the fit going on, man?
Bro, what are we talking? We got the Timbs on the feet. We got the Veil Rhinestone.
W.
Rhinestone.
Wash jeans. Y'all ain't never heard of that.
I'm blind.
Okay, we got that. We got the, unreleased Soho Long.
Unreleased.
Can we get it?
Man, when are we getting it?
We got the chain.
Wait, what's on your nails?
Huh? What?
I heard y'all was talking shit last episode.
I heard men couldn't paint their nails for it.
Damn, that's so fire, bro. I gotta get.
We saying trans, we don't follow them. Go
I
ahead.
gotta stop biting myself. You got the Fazos, the white Fazos.
Yes,
They gotta be white.
The
They all
cocaine
white.
white.
Cocaine white Fazos.
Fazo is Chicago
Got the
slang
diesel
for
pants.
white Air Force One. I said Fazo is Chicago slang for white Air Force One.
Yeah,
For
white
who
Air
don't know.
Force One. You know what I'm saying? You got the diesel pants on. These is archive.
They don't even
They don't know about these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got the Zara T.
Yeah.
W.
Zara T. Wait, what? Wait.
Stand
Got the chain on it. What JJ got on?
about, Jay?
You know, we got the mama knees on the feet. You know what I'm saying?
What
I
size
just
you
seen.
wear?
Who did I see? When you say what size I wear, I'm not leaking it. You can't have my shoes. But then I got the baggy like some jeans on, some basic. I got the polo.
You got the polo.
Jacket with the,
These jeans are so
with the,
crazy.
you know what I'm saying?
With the ice on, though.
With the,
What they talking about?
And I fuck with the hairstyle today. I like
appreciate.
that. I like
We all got
The-
we got beams and stuff.
We did
recently.
get beamed. We
Beamed
got
up,
haircuts.
beamed up,
It
It was
beamed up.
rough. Our entire break we was looking like hooligans, man.
I had to get
Hell
the
yeah.
mutton chops lined up.
But now that we're past that, know what I'm saying, we're gonna get right into a lot of stuff because we missed a bunch of everything.
Yeah, bro.
I heard that a second leak has struck the Pentagon.
Bro, yes,
Because
bro.
Pete fucking
oh my God, he didn't learn from the first time. Like, so after the thing happened with the leak of the drone strikes or whatever, the man, they said, oh yeah, it wasn't classified information. They said, okay, let's put everything out. They put everything out. Would you believe this man leaked another fucking? I think it was a airstrike towards Yemen or something.
Oh,
it was.
He leaked
Still
it to
bombing
his
without a
brother.
declaration of war,
his,
mind
his, it was his brother,
and
his wife.
his wife or something.
I'm like,
that.
bro, what are you doing?
Nuts.
I'm thinking right because
On signal.
okay, are we past our time for cussing?
Go ahead. Sorry.
This dumbass nigga really, like, let's really talk about it, right? I'm thinking the first time is a mistake. I remember I was bullshitting with JJ, and I was like, he was really trying to send like a recipe to like one of the niggas, and he ended up sending Yemen bomb plans, bro, just to send his family the shit.
This nigga stupid.
We're like,
bro,
we're
the
losing.
entire administration, bro. Like,
The entire administration.
then you gotta look at the nigga JD Vance. This nigga killed the post.
This nigga killed the vote. Like, what are we talking?
The Secretary of
Allegedly.
Defense.
No, I'm not even lying. JD Vance is on like a horrible. Like, he broke the trophy.
The nigga broke the
thing.
He's had
In
a hell of a
hell.
time. Since the jam went off air, JD Vance has
losing.
religiously showed us exactly who the fuck he is.
Gibby has
This
been losing
nigga
his
tries
mind.
to hold up the national football trophy, breaks that bitch.
He talking about, I wanted to break it because I didn't want anybody else to touch it. Fuck out of here,
and then
bro.
flies to the Vatican and solos Pope Francis.
Like, no, he really like shook
What
his
are
hand
we
and this
doing?
nigga croaked. Like, it was
Crazy.
over.
Oh my God.
R.I.P.
The
to
funny-
R.I.P.
Rest
to
in
Pope
peace.
Francis.
R.I.P. to
man.
Pope
Rest in
Francis,
peace,
man.
bro.
The funniest comment that I seen somebody say, they said that nigga shook JD Vance's hand and he said, I gotta take this shit up with HR. Got up out of there, bro.
That's not funny.
It's not funny, but it's
not
it's
funny.
wild.
I will say, I personally think that the handshake contact or whatever contact they made was enough. Based off that evidence alone, I think JD Vance has something to do with it. El Salvador.
What? Send him to El Salvador.
That's what it sounded like. The
I
evidence.
mean,
that
there's a whole bunch of other
some shit.
people around here too. So
Yeah, send that nigga to El Salvador.
Yeah, I think he did it. I don't got to provide the evidence. I'm feeling
No,
like
real
P.
shit,
Hegseth
bro.
now.
Rest in peace. Real shit on a serious note, like, rest in peace.
Yeah,
Oh,
for real,
man,
for real.
man,
No,
rest in
real
peace
shit.
to the
I will
bro.
say for religion and for what he represented and the kindness that he showed like all around the world, he was genuinely like someone who
He was cool,
about that
bro.
shit.
Well,
I feel like if we would have had the Pope on the jam, he would have rocked with it.
He would have 100%.
He would have hard.
He done did so much. He gave back like a lot. He's constantly been talking in support of Gaza for like a while.
Yeah,
too.
for a while.
funny thing is
shows
that I think they said that the last thing he lectured JD Vance on was immigrant.
Immigrant.
Yeah, because he
Damn.
does not.
Insane.
He is not the type of person who is currently and or would have fucked with the current like state of shit in the United States. He never has. He's always been like not a fascist.
Yeah.
So it's good to hear that, and he with his parting words too. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
But rest in
crazy,
peace
bro.
to him.
Rest in
But
peace to
going
him,
on,
real spill.
That's
There is one thing I have to bring up.
What?
And bro, I'm not that much of a baseball fan.
Bro.
Why have I been? This is like the most I've been into baseball.
Yeah.
No,
This is the
like,
most
Just
I've
because
ever
of
been
him.
into baseball in my life.
Man.
Why are the Chicago Cubs the best team in the league right now.
It's
Chicago
feeling like
Cubs.
2016
The
again.
Chicago Cubs are damn near the best team in the league right now. There was a projection that came out the other day that said that the Cubs have the highest likelihood of winning the World Series. And I personally, as a baseball fan, do not put that much stock into it because I understand how
It's a
unpredictable
long-ass
baseball is.
season.
It's a
Yeah,
long
bro.
season. And then these niggas went out there and they had Game of the Year in back-to-back
Bro.
series.
No.
After they
With
beat
the
Game of the
Dodgers.
year.
First-
It has to be game of the year,
First,
bro.
the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks.
Oh, okay.
The
They was going
Diamondbacks
back and forth.
just went to the World Series in 2023. The Diamondbacks and the Rangers, I believe, were in the World Series. So they just won the National League pennant. They were the best team in the National League. And two of their players, or one of their players, has been killing the Cubs. Because we've played them a bunch of times. We've been playing all National League West teams. That's the Dodgers, the Giants, the Diamondbacks, that West Coast. So they go in. Slugfest goes back and forth. They win that game. What was it? Like they were up like 7-1. Then the Diamondbacks came back, took the lead like 10-7 or something like that. Then the Cubs came back and still won that. Like
Nuts.
insane.
Bro, I was like, wow. But two things, right? The first thing was I remember he was talking about in the beginning, not even the beginning of the season, the preseason. He was like, bro, the Cubs looking good. I'm thinking he's playing. I'm like, bro, it's the Cubs.
they
And you know what
good.
I was tying in? I was tying in with the White Sox, like you said.
I'm like,
I was bro,
I'm a White
they're not
Sox
gonna
fan.
do
I'm
that.
like, yeah, they, whatever.
Bro, I'm watching games with JJ. He showed me highlights. I'm like, holy shit. And they beat the Dodgers.
My one
Crazy.
concern during this season was because the Dodgers just spent like $1 billion. I'm like, the Cubs are going to be like competitive, but I don't know if they got enough to beat the Dodgers.
Right.
They started off the season losing to them in Japan, in that Japan series. And they came back, beat these niggas
Beat the
16-0.
dog
I
shit
think
out them
crazy.
niggas.
So I think took like
Wild.
2 of 3 games from them, beat these niggas 16-0. Then they go on their road trip, then they come back to Wrigley Field last night.
Bro,
You
last
wanna know what I
night's game.
seen? I seen videos of Dodgers fans. They were doing a Chicago Dodgers fan takeover. They were all walking down the city. It was like before the game started. It was hell of
did
a day.
that?
Yeah, because they're like the Dodgers. We gonna take over everyone's stadium.
Look
Bottom
what
of the ninth, 2 outs. Dodgers up by 1. Miguel Amaya, bing it. Tie game. Walk off.
But I forgot where we were, and he read it to me. He's like,
We were at
Cubs
Chick-fil-A.
win. And I was like,
I was like, how in the
bro,
Yeah.
crazy.
We're at
crazy.
Chick-fil-A right before we have to go see Centers, and we're like, shit, we have to get on the road now because these streets about to get packed.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they walked off
Yeah.
1/10 inning. Ian Happ hits a walk-off single. W. So the Cubs have beaten the Dodgers again. And it's looking scary. Shohei was there for all these
True,
games.
yeah.
All
I
these
think he
LA
was like
niggas.
0 for 4 or some shit.
Yeah,
like,
he was-
they was K&A
damn.
to go.
Crazy.
was not touching anything, bro.
Crazy.
So the Cubs are giving us confidence. It remains to be seen what they do for the rest of the
Hell
season.
yeah.
But that's a really good sign. Let's get into the real.
Let's get into the real.
Hit
Bag
that shit,
work
bro.
it is, man. Let's get into
So
it.
where do we begin? We had some of y'all been asking
Gotta
us for
kick
our
the
take.
feet up for this.
Some of y'all been asking us for a take on this specific situation.
I'm really excited for this. I just want to say because I damn near know nothing about the Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf
Yep.
situation.
Yeah.
Let's
So-
get into it.
Carmelo Anthony and Metcalf.
Not
A
the
whole bunch of
basketball
y'all probably know some of what is real, and a lot of y'all know the shit that's fake. There's a whole bunch of misinformation with this story, which pissed me off. It took me hours to get everything down. So y'all better lock the fuck in.
Lock in.
Pull out
Lock
your
in.
notebooks.
Yep.
Pull out your
Homework,
notebook.
nigga.
Pull out your phone if you want to record your phone while you're watching on your phone. Do what you
Or
gotta
Google
do, bro.
something. Make sure we not capping.
On God. Oh, you gonna have to Google this shit too. So let's talk about the initial thing that happened.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
April 2nd, Austin was stabbed by another student by the name of Carmelo Anthony at a track meet during an altercation. He died in his brother's arms, right?
Damn.
Insane. RIP to
RP, yeah, for
Austin,
sure.
right?
That's crazy.
I know his family's really hurting right now. And the way his father is trying to stop these right-wing people from taking his son's name and face and just plastering everywhere, it's really respect. And it's sad to see all these other motherfuckers doing this random
Crazy,
shit, bro.
bro.
He's
Crazy
in the
what
middle
they'll
of
do, bro.
grieving, and he is still
Having
like,
to fight niggas on like, don't put my son face here. Don't put my
Yeah,
son. That's
right.
crazy,
That's
bro.
sad.
So-
While he's still in the process of that.
Now let's get into the misinformation, right?
Let's get into it.
So the initial like reports came out. Oh, black kid stabs white kid. Right wing takes it.
Of course.
plasters
Fucking
the
blows
bullshit
their
out.
head. Yeah.
Which is not the first time they've done it. I remember back in like 2021, they did this kid named Cannon Hinnant was like a little white boy. He got killed by some black person who I think had like mental issues or something like that.
Oh, I know
had
you're
nothing to
talking
do
about.
with race, mind you.
Yeah,
Nothing to
yeah.
do. It was just a horrible murder, and they were screaming about him for like years. What the reverse racism? We never hear about it, mind you. I still know who the kid's name is to this day because I heard about it.
They
But,
do
like,
the same thing with like brown people and like immigrants with
Yeah.
what was the girl that was running or something like that? The girl that was running and then she got like killed or something like I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, bro. And so, okay. First bit of misinformation that I found, right? The claim was Karmelo was suspended from school for a knife a day prior. And I want to play you a clip of one of these goofy ass niggas talking about this shit.
Okay.
I
Let's see
wonder
it.
if I
Let's see it.
recognize him.
You probably seen him before.
Carmelo Anthony
Okay, I have
update.
not.
Reports are now being made that Carmelo Anthony had previously been suspended from school for bringing a knife to school. Law enforcement has also stated that he was not supposed to be at that track meet. He was supposed to be at school that day and that he was in fact skipping school to be somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. And as we all know,
As we all know, it's bullshit. Okay. So I want you to pull that back up, but I want you to pause it because there's something valuable in this.
in the excerpt.
In the,
Yeah. Okay. So do you see behind him that the reporter that he's taking that from, right?
Amelia.
Her name is Amelia. I'm about to butcher your name. I'm sorry,
Mugarva?
but
Mugarvo or something. Amelia G.
Amelia
M.
We're gonna say Amelia M.
Like, what the fuck?
I was looking.
I'm thinking Gardo.
I'm like, am I stupid?
Yeah.
Am I the dumb one?
Bullshit. Yo.
Okay, so Amelia M, right? So I seen that screenshot behind him. I immediately went to Facebook because that's where he grabbed it from. I go to her page. I can't find that.
Can't find that.
I can't find that screenshot. Nowhere to be found. So I'm like, where the fuck is he getting it from? Is it doctor? Did somebody put her name over there and then put some other shit behind it? So I go to Facebook. I see two Facebook posts from her. One was before, like when it initially happened, and then I guess she wrote a statement of Memorial High School and what they said. The second one, I want you to pull up the picture as well. This shit, bro, I'm like, okay. So what I got from this is that maybe, possibly, she did post that, but then she took it down because it wasn't accurate information. So what she said, what we know so far, Frisco ISD says Carmelo Anthony was at the track meet as a track athlete and participant. So he was meant to be there.
Okay.
I'm about to say, what do you mean he was supposed to be at school? He was skipping to go to a different school track meet, or was he at his school?
Yeah, because if he's at his school track, wouldn't that be after school anyways?
Exactly.
At least that's what we
Yeah,
used to do at
that's
track
usually-
meet. You
yeah.
go to
Yeah,
school and then
school.
you have your track meet afterwards.
So he was a track athlete. He's supposed to be there, right? And then it gets into further details, but at the bottom, because I don't want to spoil the details or whatever, at the bottom it said, we also redacted some previous reported information on a possible suspicion in order to get further clarification from the school district. The school district has chosen not to reply to our questions regarding this information. So what I'm thinking is that she probably put that out when it happened, probably try to get ahead of shit. And then she asked the school, hey, is this true? And they didn't respond. She's like, oh, fuck, I got to take this shit down because you don't know if
that's
it's true.
still some bullshit.
It's
Which
dumb.
That's still
That's
journalistic
nuts.
malpractice.
Yeah,
They
that's
probably
journalistic
get your shit
malpractice.
That's
recorded.
very
Exactly.
irresponsible
Very
as a
irresponsible.
journalist because, like, bro, you haven't even asked.
Like, yeah,
school.
you damn near can't even blame the white dude.
Right,
because- I mean,
exactly.
you know what they're doing, but at
Well,
the
yeah,
same
because you
time,
know that
it's
they're
like,
not gonna look deeper. Than
yeah, exactly. But like,
And to be honest, he posted that video, I think, like a couple days ago.
okay, never mind.
Oh, after it got taken down
Yeah,
already.
and this post was like from April 3rd, I believe.
I mean, regardless,
okay.
no.
So-
I
You
mean,
had
at the
time.
same time,
Yeah,
no,
you got
Your
time.
ass had
that,
time.
not even that, bro. You can still blame him because, nigga, like, look at now. The fact that you just told us
You found
misinformation, you could respond with another video and be like, okay, that was false.
Yeah,
or you
true.
can delete it.
And
They
niggas
will never
not
do
gonna
Bro,
do
no,
that
it's
shit.
still
You're not gonna
you
do
still
that
can-
shit.
You're not
Niggas
doing
Nigga
not
it.
making
gonna do
money
that
off
shit.
of that.
You're gonna
shit.
run with
Not
the
finna
narrative
do
that
that
you
shit,
have
bro.
out, bro.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what
keep
it
going,
is.
keep going.
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
Second claim, Carmelo used a cleat sharpener instead of a knife. That's false.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of people that were on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere saying, oh, yeah, but he didn't even use a knife. It was a cleat sharpener. No, it wasn't.
It was a knife.
Because not only in the police report did it say it was a knife, you try to search it, Did Carmelo Anthony use a cleat sharpener? Nobody has reported on this shit. So I'm not about to go down.
We're just making shit up.
Making shit up.
No,
Literally, you search this shit on Google, bro. All you see is a link to like a video or anybody's video that has posted about it. Reports say that he used it. Who's reporting?
Reports who?
And honestly, though,
reporter?
I'm glad that you mentioned that because I feel like a lot of, especially the dumbasses in our comments, would think that we like, bro, half the time it's not even about playing a side.
Yeah.
Half the time it's about what is actually true.
You look it up.
Yeah,
No, you do. And then what's so
if
crazy?
you have black people or any people who's defending Carmelo, like, oh no, it wasn't even a knife, it was a cleat sharpener. Where the fuck do you?
Where'd you
are
get
getting
that
this
from?
Where you
Yeah.
get, bro?
You know what I
Get it
mean?
from the
I
deep-
didn't know, like, because this is like, I knew about the case, but I didn't know the specifics. So hearing this for the first time, because
Yeah.
I saw this one video. Sneeko was, he does like,
I
those
saw
clips
something
of the
about
train
the
station
nigga.
where he was debating someone, and I saw in the comments, he was like,
He
wasn't
does
a knife.
that again now?
Yeah. Because he's back in like
He's
New
back
York,
in-
all
yeah,
dumb
yeah,
shit. He was like debating, he was like, oh well, talking about the whole situation. And then someone in the comments was talking about, well, it wasn't even a knife, it was a cleat sharpener. So I'm like, well, which one was it? Was it a knife? And I didn't look too deep into it. So like hearing that,
Okay,
like,
bet.
especially
Yeah,
for a
and
lot
then
of people in the audience.
realistically, whether if it was a cleat sharpener or
Or a knife.
a
Yeah,
knife.
what the
It
fuck?
doesn't
You killed somebody
excuse
with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Continue.
Okay. Another claim. The full story was released by the chief of police. So I think it was maybe April 3rd. Somebody, and I want you to pull it up too so everybody can look at it. Somebody impersonated the chief of police.
Boy,
Oh, I heard about
heard
that
about that.
one. Yeah, what the
Yeah,
hell?
right there. So the thing is though, what the nigga was doing, he was taking the information that was already out and combining it with some bullshit to make it seem like
Oh, put a little bit of the truth in there. It's a good lie.
thank you. So everything highlighted is the bullshit.
Okay.
And then another thing that I noticed is that at the top of the page, he sent it to friends. Why are you sending it? If you're the chief of police,
Yeah.
Why you
would
send
you
it to
only
your
send it to friends?
you got to send it to the public if you're trying to inform niggas on what actually happened. So,
Nigga impersonated. So is he not getting any like hello?
Yeah.
He's just
hello?
no, they're looking into whoever
Oh,
made
okay,
that. He's
word,
cooked.
word. Oh, okay, good.
Impersonate
Get
the
that
police,
nigga out
you're
here.
done.
Yeah,
nigga.
you're done.
Jail
Bullshit.
for life, nigga.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking that Buddy, he made the page, typed all that bullshit out. It's a whole bunch of spelling errors in that bitch anyway. So he typed it out, screenshotted it. He posted it to the friends. Maybe he didn't even follow anybody with the page or whatever. He screenshotted it, sent it to somebody, then somebody else posted it.
And there it is.
Spread it.
Spread
Yeah.
like
Right.
wildfire. God
Right.
damn,
That's
bro.
how easy it can
Okay, so I do. Well, you can continue. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna. My question is this, right? So I've been seeing. Obviously, this is a black and white thing, right? That's the like war shit. And I saw that one video of the dude that was trying to get his dad to like be on his side or some shit like that. Where is the like? I yes, I know it's a black white thing, but also where's like the divide? Like, why is this big? Because it seems to me that there's one boy, Carmelo Anthony. He stabs him. Was it like, okay, so that's what it is. What what was it? Was it self-defense? Was it
We gonna get right
what the
into
hell
that.
happened? Like, why did he just
Okay.
stab this kid?
So the last piece of bullshit before we get into some more bullshit, there was an autopsy report that was also fake.
Oh, what? They faked the autopsy?
Wait,
Fake
who
the
faked
autopsy report. I couldn't find the autopsy report. That's what's pissing me off about it. I tried to find this shit and I couldn't find it, but I read some. I think it was from CBS in Texas, whatever. They said with that and then the autopsy report, it was all fake.
Damn. Okay.
So now that we got rid of most of the bullshit,
Okay.
let's get into the details according to the police officers and the police report.
I want y'all to understand that what AB's doing right now is literally what happens with every fucking thing that like the right wing capitalizes on.
Yeah.
There'll be
Yes.
19 layers of bullshit before you get to what actually happens.
Yeah.
Because
And you will
literally
get caught along.
misinformation is.
Yeah.
Because like even just hearing, it's so much misinformation from like
Distractions.
Literally.
That's literally what it is.
the actual thing. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this statement was from Officer Wetzel. He was at the scene. All these officers were at the scene when it happened, right? So he says the following is a summary of my contact with blank. He advised he was sitting under the Memorial High School pop-up tent with his teammate near the victim Austin and the suspect Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo is a Centennial High School student and was sitting under Memorial High School tent. Austin had told Anthony that he needed to move out from underneath their tent because I guess he didn't belong there or whatever. So Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, reached inside, and proceeded to tell Austin, touch me and see what happens. No one really thought Anthony really had any weapons in his bag, and Austin proceeded to touch Anthony, and then Anthony told Austin, punch me and see what happens. A short time later, Austin grabs Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulls out what Redacted recalled as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and ran away. Austin began grabbing his chest and telling everyone to get help. Redacted advised he did not know Anthony's name, but stated another Memorial Track member by the name, they blurred out like his first and last name, but they left his initials. EP was friends with Anthony, and he could identify Anthony. So what I got from this is that Anthony was sitting underneath the tent with one of his friends from Memorial High School, according to what the officer said, right? So then, obviously, Austin might have had an issue with that. We don't know the extent of the back and forth or whether it was like a big brawl, like one of the fucking that shit said.
Yeah.
We don't know if it was, because that said it was like a brawl, niggas was punching each other through his phone. Like we don't know none of that. Nobody knows the extent of the altercation, but they know that it was an altercation that happened. Okay. So this is from Officer Fisher. I learned Hunter, which is Austin's brother, twin brother, was the brother of the victim. I attempted to ask both, which is when he means both, he means Hunter and the first
EP?
EP, yeah. He asked Hunter and EP, right? So he said, I attempted to ask them both what happened. I could barely get anything out of Hunter, but Redacted EP stated that he wanted to speak. I asked him what happened, and he stated that they were all sitting on the bleachers under the Memorial High School tent when another male who he did not know walked over and sat under the tent. Redacted said Austin, the victim, told this male that since he did not go to Memorial, he had to leave the tent.
Wait, he didn't? I thought EP said he did know Karmelo. He didn't know?
No, EP didn't know, but EP knows somebody that knew Karmelo. Yeah, so Karmelo was under the tent Karmelo was under the tent to talk to somebody that he knew.
Oh fuck! That's a really shit situation.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Because situation. Because if you
I don't
think
even
about
know
it
if
from
you-
like if you think about it from like even if you're like because we've been in track before, right,
Yeah.
in school. You probably, if you know people from a different school, whatever, you're probably going to be over there, like, or hang out. But people are going to be like,
exactly.
you didn't go there, so
like,
everyone's
ain't gonna lie,
bro, it's high school.
That's I was gonna say, it's
Right.
high school and it's gang. That's a competitive area.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, at least coming into this, I done heard how much black people didn't threw up the money for him and shit like that and all the support. So I ain't gonna lie, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I thought it was a better story than that because. In my personal opinion, I don't think that was warranted. Like realistically, bro, you under a different school's tent. You're under a different school's tent. You probably it's not even the case that you shouldn't be there, but you shouldn't get like you know what I'm saying. You shouldn't tweak out if they telling you, oh, you shouldn't be here, because that's what it's a competitive environment. That's like me playing basketball and then going to the other bench and sitting there being like, yeah, and we whooping their ass or some shit like that. You know what I mean? It's gonna be people there that's like, bro, get away from it, and then you stabbed.
Is there any?
I've been like literally because I've been hearing about the case, and I'm just and even hearing what you're saying, I'm like, why are people like trying to
And
excuse?
I get it though, right? He put his hands on him, and that's where everybody was like, oh, you shouldn't have put your hands on him. Yeah, you should have got a teacher. You should have got but also, bro, these is male high school boys, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like in that moment, he probably wasn't, I'm saying Austin, right? He probably wasn't even thinking in the slightest, like, he finna tweak out and stab me if I tell him to leave. You know what I mean?
No,
it's like
high school. You get into an issue with someone, you're not expecting. Hey, they finna pull a knife.
Yeah,
on me,
that's
stab me.
kinda crazy,
You gonna run the
gang.
fade? You gonna do whatever, bro? Pulling a knife and stabbing them, bro.
and especially when you were somewhere that you probably shouldn't have been.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
Yeah, is there more?
Yeah, so where I gotta go where I left off at. Okay, so Redacted said then Austin, the victim, told the male that he should leave the tent because he doesn't go there. Austin and the male then went back and forth, and then Austin stood up and pushed the male to get him out the tent. Redacted said during this time of arguing, the male reached around in his bag and then pulled out the knife, and it happened. So
fuck.
the thing
That's wicked.
that everybody does not know is the severity of the altercation. All we know is Austin told him to leave. They were arguing or whatever. Austin might have put hands on him, might have tried to push him out, and then he was stabbed. We don't know if he pushed him and then pushed him back, or nobody know that shit.
I done seen hella shit about like bullies and all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with raising money, and the reason why, and a lot of people might not fuck with that, but bro, y'all raised money for Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Stop
Right.
playing with me, nigga.
Yeah,
we
they
can
try to
raise
make
money.
the comparison to Kyle.
Yeah,
I'm
like
yo,
stop bullshitting, bro. It's not
Kyle
the same
was-
thing. Like,
nah.
Yeah.
yeah, this is very different. But I will say, I do not. I don't think we as a people should condone that though, because that's not
Yeah.
even. But whether you got pushed or anything, that's not a response. That's not the way you respond
I think
to some shit like that.
we're very desensitized. I can never say the word.
Desensitized.
Yeah.
You got it.
I think we like are very numb to the fact of death because you kind of see it all the time online. You don't understand that like
Bro,
someone's life just got taken.
Yeah.
away.
One day
So
you can
it's-
be watching car videos, the next moment you scroll, you see somebody head getting taken off.
Literally,
bro, I remember, bro, being at track meets and shit like that, and it would be animosity like that, and we would be walking around like schools we used to run against is like Colin Powell and shit like that, and I remember it was animosity because one, nigga, we was smaller niggas, and y'all niggas was better than us, so we already was mad. But also, like, if we whooped y'all ass or some shit, or you know what I'm saying, something like that, we was hyped up. We was okay in y'all face. It's a competitive environment, bro. I just don't think you go under their tent. I'm thinking it was under his tent. I'm thinking, you know what I mean?
No, you just don't do it. But
just don't do
another
shit like that.
perspective, because the dude that was talking to Sneako about the whole situation, he made a good point, and like not to excuse anything, but the not even a point. The perspective was because he was talking about because he was in New York and he didn't grow up in a good neighborhood, so he was like, bro, I went to school, bro. He's like, I got jumped randomly.
True.
He was like, I got robbed. He was like, I didn't see my friends get robbed. I didn't see my friends get sticked up. He was like, bro, I bring a knife to school. He's like, I bring a knife everywhere because, bro, like people will just do anything to you.
Right.
And I understand that perspective. If you're from a shit neighborhood, bro, you want to protect yourself. You're scared, but at the same time, you need to understand your decision making because you just took someone's life.
Yeah,
you need to
and
understand
ruined
the-
your life.
It
It's
just
all
ruined
about
your life,
emotional
bro.
intelligence.
Yeah,
Exactly, bro. You need to
genuinely, bro.
understand the consequence of your actions, bro, and the severity of what you like. You need to understand, bro. If you're gonna, especially like you hear the thing of like you having a gun. If you're gonna have a gun, like you better be prepared to like
Shoot that motherfucker.
like
Yeah,
in the
like,
sense of like have something done to you at
Yeah,
the same
exactly,
time because
yeah.
now you're trying to hurt someone.
There's a real consequence, like a real world consequence that comes with all of this shit, bro.
Right.
Motherfuckers, even like young kids, like you may think it's cool to bring, like some people are bringing a knife out of necessity, shit like that, right? You may think it's cool to do that shit just because, bro, no, there's
Bro, it's
real
not.
world shit that come with that,
It is,
bro.
bro.
He just realistically, bro, I'm gonna keep it a bean. He just ruined his life.
Yeah.
That's it. You know
and
what
you
I'm
just
saying?
ruined another family's life.
And on top of that, you just ruined another family's life. And on top of that, now you done tainted Jeff family. And on top of that, I'm not even gonna say that piece. But yeah, it's a shit situation, bro.
It is,
Yeah.
bro.
Genuinely.
So we got another statement from Officer Cortez, right? So he was, I believe he was in the building when it happened, and he responded to after the whole situation happened. So what we know is that what we all know now is that he was under the tent to talk to somebody that he knew from the other school. Austin didn't want him there. They had a little altercation. We don't know the severity of the altercation, but it ended up Austin got stabbed because of that altercation or whatever the fuck. He put his hands on Karmelo, and then the shit happened, right?
Yeah.
So Cortez responds to the situation. During this time, the suspect said verbally, this is when he caught up to Karmelo, because after the incident happened, I guess Karmelo left the bleachers.
He probably did.
So he caught up to Karmelo, told him like to stay where he is or whatever. And this is what he said. During the time, the suspect said verbally out loud, I was protecting myself. It should be noted that I did not question him about the incident when he made that comment. I asked him if he had any weapons. He said no. I patted him down for weapons while we were walking along the fence, and I did not locate any on his person. I instructed the male to continue walking along the fence, which he complied, towards an area where there was an opening in the fence that led off the track. While walking him off the track, the suspect also said he put his hands on me. While the suspect sat on the ground, over the radio, he advised that he had the alleged suspect, and then Karmelo Anthony was like, "I'm not alleged, I did it." And then another thing that happened, he says, as we were walking to the squad car, the suspect was emotional and said he put his hands on me. I told him not to.
Nah, gang.
Bruh,
I can't clear that, folks.
you just took a life,
You
bro.
just took a life. Nigga,
You
he
can't
pushed
clear
you.
that.
Can't clear
At least
that.
from what we know. I'm not
from what
saying
we
that
know, yeah.
allegedly, right?
Mm.
He pushed you, gang. That doesn't warrant you stabbing him in the chest. That's
Right.
like shit. Did they have like previous history? We don't know
Nobody
yet.
knows.
All right,
Nobody knows.
We'll
We gotta
know
really
when
know
more
the specifics of this
No.
case.
information
knows.
come out, man, bro.
Yep.
Condolences to the families.
We
though,
not even
for
done
sure.
yet.
No?
It's
Oh
more.
shit.
Oh shit.
Okay. So after the whole situation happens, right? Karmelo Anthony was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. April 14th, he was released from the Collin County Jail. A district court judge reduced his initial bond from $1 million to $250,000. He posted bail and is now on house arrest.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
They got,
Oh, because of
Because of
donation.
funding.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
yeah.
shit.
Actually, okay, so here's another piece of the bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
A claim was Carmelo's family took the donations and used it to get a new home.
Of course, they said some shit like that.
That was false. They have currently raised over $500,000 and haven't touched a single cent from it. But in the description of the fund, it says, purpose of the fund. While legal defense is a critical part of this journey, we want to make it clear that this fund is not solely dedicated to legal expenses. The funds raised will also support a range of urgent and necessary needs that have been emerged as a result of this situation, including and not limited to a safe relocation for the Anthony family, basic living costs, transportation, etc. So
That makes
even,
makes sense.
So
because
even if they did take the money and buy them a different house or
Wait, how did
things
they-
that they need, they said it in the donation description. So-
wait, how did they post bail at $250K without using any of the donations? They got money?
They got money.
Is this
for
a
real.
this
No,
family
no.
has money?
Yeah, they got money.
Oh wait, yeah.
Oh,
Carmelo
then
Anthony's
that-
family has money. Like, it was a whole thing that I seen too. Is like they were saying that that his mom bought the house with the donation money, but it comes to find out that she been had that house for like 2-3 years. It's a big ass house.
Damn.
Oh, shit. That kinda-
Oh, nah, though.
okay.
But
That
like
kinda changed.
that changed
That
it
changes
a
a little
lot,
bit.
bro. Because now you, at least I'm not trying to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like that, but now you like got bread. You a successful family. You got bread in the family,
Yeah, I
and you
think they said
stabbing
his
people.
GPA was like 3.7 or 3.4, something like that.
And it's like a
he's
good
he's a
school,
smart, he's a
good-
smart kid.
it's a good
He just
neighborhood.
made a
it
terrible
seems like
fucking
a good.
decision.
It has to be a good neighborhood then. If
Yeah.
you, bro, if you're
Yeah.
posting 250,000
Good
bail,
neighbor. It was just
Yeah.
a shitty decision.
dang,
That's a
what?
horrible decision.
Terrible decision, bro.
God damn, bro.
That's a
I
horrible
can't clear that, man.
Nah.
I know I
Can't
can't clear
excuse
that.
that,
I'm
bro.
not gonna hold you.
So then,
That's tragic.
just to wrap this all up, right?
Mhm.
This Monday, right? They had to relocate because of threats to their safety.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So people were sending Austin Metcalf's obituary to their house. They were sending random like pizza fucking deliveries that they didn't ask for. So people
Yeah,
got a hold of
yeah,
their address, so they had
yeah.
to move.
Okay.
Right? Now, here's some more bullshit. I guess it's the owner of this group called Protect the White Americans, right? He goes on, I guess he does a rally or whatever, trying to make Austin like the face of his shit. And his dad calls up and curses him the fuck out. I need y'all to see this clip, bro.
Oh yeah,
I need y'all to see
yeah.
this clip, bro. This shit is
Would
hilarious.
you
I
be
saw
willing
this
to
shit.
stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today.
How do you know that? He's a high school kid.
He said, "Are you
Yes, I
done?"
am, sir.
Okay, I'm not done speaking. You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk.
Hold on, can you pause it right quick?
That's crazy.
Told him take his son's face off his fucking website or whatever.
Yeah, the website.
Now I want you to pay attention to that one lonely black
I
nigga in the
seen
back.
it. Yeah, I seen this, bro.
You play it.
Off your website. I am not associated with you. I don't...
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir.
Can we pause it? I would slap the fucking shit out of nigga. He said that shit to me.
Yeah.
About my dead
About my
son.
dead son.
That's how
You're
it's
I would,
creating more
nigga, I
Austin
would
Metcalfs.
blam that nigga.
You're quoting
Don't-
my
that
son's
is
You're
name
crazy.
back
bro,
to me,
you're
like,
so up your own ass with your own narrative that you don't even give a fuck
You're
about
creating
give a
more
fuck.
Austin Metcalf.
He don't give
Bro.
a fuck. He just want the PR, bro.
Man,
because
these
of your
niggas be
weak
tripping.
because of your weakness.
These niggas be tripping, bro.
Your weakness.
These niggas be
Let's
tripping,
finish the
bro.
clip
Let's finish the
before I
clip.
say
Sorry.
something about it.
Creating more Austin Metcalfs with your
Black man
weakness.
Here, you are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that.
Black man here.
Hold on. Pause it. Pause it. Black man here.
Black man here.
Yo, lame ass.
My son just died and I'm weak. My son got stabbed in his heart and I'm weak.
And I don't want you plastering his thing up with some white supremacy like propaganda bullshit.
And you're calling me on my phone when I'm
JJ,
still
bro.
You're calling me on my phone while I'm still trying to grieve, talking about you're being weak.
You're being
because
weak,
I
white
told you
guilt.
to take the shit off of your. You gotta see me after
And
that,
for
bro.
you-
No, do you have to see me?
You gotta see
you
me.
gotta
For that
see me,
nigga
bro.
to agree, like, it's just you. I don't want to say the word COON because maybe we're not supposed to do that on YouTube. But like, what exactly are you accomplishing here by throwing in? Yeah, I'm a black man, and I agree. What do you mean? You agree that
Token.
this person is being weak because they don't want a white nationalist, like a white supremacist, making your son, your dead son's name, like representative of that movement for pretty much all time, because you know that 1 million black people can die in this country and we don't hear people. We always hear protests about it. This shit happens all the fucking time. You niggas don't care.
Crazy.
They don't.
But they
care,
have
bro.
one test case where it looks like this black kid made a wrong decision and killed somebody who was white, and now it's like there's more Austin Metcalfs happening all the time. You're just completely buying into that narrative?
No.
So then how were people not justified during the civil rights movement when all this shit was happening the exact opposite way? It's like, I don't understand how you have the audacity to tell a father of their
That's
son that
crazy,
just
bro.
got killed that they're being weak.
They're being
If anything,
weak, and
the
that's that
strong-
white guilt.
The strong thing to do is him calling and being like, "You're the one making this
Yeah,
narrative."
yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
strong thing. That's not weak, bro.
Yeah. Crazy. Shout out you for even.
He said it would have been one of
even
our
doing
strongest
that.
voices had he still been alive. Did you hear that shit?
That's
Yes,
crazy.
that's
This is a
insane,
high school
bro.
kid who runs track, and because he's white, you assume that he would have joined
You
your
assume that
white
he's
power.
aligned with your shit.
Crazy.
What the
Considering
fuck?
how-
He
Never
never
spoke
spoke to
your
the nigga.
dumb ass is standing here in that shitty ass collared shirt, being like, "Yeah, you do kind of sound weak, black man here."
Black man here.
Shut your dumb ass
The
down,
ass,
bro.
perspective is
And
something.
the thing too, just listening to how his father speaks, he wouldn't be part of that shit.
Yeah, like,
Like,
I
what
mean,
the
yeah.
fuck?
Or if he was, it'd
realistically-
be against that nigga.
Yeah,
Like,
Exactly.
realistically. Yeah, bro.
Wow.
That's
Shit crazy.
Bro.
So
nuts,
Narratives
bro.
these niggas
all in
paint,
all, bro,
Yeah.
the only things that we know is that he was underneath the tent to talk to maybe one of his homies from
Yeah.
the other school. Austin didn't want him there.
Shit
They got into an altercation.
Yeah,
Austin
happens.
might have pushed him. We don't know the severity of what if it escalated after that. But what it did escalate to is Austin being stabbed. And
Yeah, bro.
Rest
I
in
think
peace to him, bro. and
If you hear
condolences
anything
to
else,
the families, bro.
if
Yeah,
it's not from the
condolences
police,
to the
it's
families, bro.
bullshit.
That's really all it is.
Condolences, man.
'Cause it's
Even
like,
then, it'd be bullshit. Sometimes it'll be from the police. But according to
Right.
like everything that we know right now, there is not warrant for it to be like hey, this kid did nothing wrong, and there's also not warrant for it to be, hey, this is the end of white people. Let's rally around it. I feel like there are many interests that are like at play in this situation, and at that point, it's a fucked.
It's a murder.
situation.
It's a murder.
Yeah.
Like, it's a murder.
Yeah.
Um,
And I feel like it's not even going to be a lighter note.
it's not.
Yeah.
It just so happens that people aren't
Don't worry, we got sinners coming up though.
Yeah.
So stay
Sinners
tuned.
is
You know what I
coming.
mean?
that's gonna be the light note.
yeah, we got some forest to go through before that. It just so happens that people, unfortunately, aren't the only things being murdered. We have ideals being murdered every day as well, with Trump going to war against schools.
Wicked.
And the concept of learning.
And the concept of learning.
Because that would kind of defeat their entire like existence as a movement at this point. But what I mean by that was, Trump's been doing this thing where he's been like trying to withhold funding, freeze stuff. He's been doing that since he walked in. And remember he got at Columbia because anti-Semitism on campus. So let's take 400 mil from them, and then also get to install like boards of people who get to watch over what curriculum you're teaching and everything. Yeah, so
That's
you know,
insane.
just
Like, just a
400
Hey, what are you studying today? Is it against the guidelines?
Yeah,
What you're studying?
yes, on some Big Brother like
on some like, you know what that
Soviet
shit remind me of?
Union.
Y'all ever seen or read Fahrenheit 451?
Yeah, Fahrenheit
Yeah,
451.
where
I
they
haven't
like
seen
banned, but it was like banning motherfuckers from reading books and shit like.
Yeah,
that.
it was in
dystopian
we read it in
shit.
7th grade as a dystopian book. This sounds like some shit straight out of that. So basically what happened, right? And I remember I was researching for this topic because my topic changed a couple times. I remember I was researching for it and I was like, it's kind of boring. And then I started realizing things like pieces started falling in. So we'll start on April 11th. April 11th, Harvard University officials received a series of like outlandish written demands from the Trump administration. And these demands are like, what the fuck? One of them, they requested to install outside auditors who would monitor the school's academic departments. So we have to
Outside auditors.
Yes. So mind you, so this random April 11th, you wake up, stretch in the morning, boom, your desktop is like, all right, cool. You, as the leader of Harvard University, you need to do X, Y, Z. It said the university shall commission an external party which shall satisfy the federal government as to its competence and good faith to audit those programs and departments that most fuel anti-Semitic harassment or reflect ideological capture.
So what does that look like? Does it have is it like a random nigga walking around with a clipboard? Hey,
Yeah, what is that, bro?
What I would assume is they're going to have people like come in that will be hired at Harvard that will like monitor like
On some loyalist shit.
Yeah, like if you have an anthropology course. I remember when I took anthropology when I was in college, we had a section where we learned about jihad and what like jihad is and the misconceptions that we have as Americans or whatever, and like their religious views and everything, like in Middle Eastern countries that have that. And I'm pretty sure that according to whatever administration, if my former school was put under that, you wouldn't be able to teach that.
That's crazy.
Because obviously you can't humanize those people. You have to keep them as big, scary, bad people. That was one of the demands. The second one was the university must immediately shutter all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Offices
At Harvard?
Offices,
you said they must shut?
they must shutter every single, all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, offices, committees, positions, and initiatives under whatever name, and stop all DEI-based policies.
Under whatever name.
Under whatever
Because remember
name.
there was that whole loophole. I forgot, some school did it where they did a loophole where they just didn't call it DEI and they got around it.
Mind you,
Whatever name.
So
we talked-
explain the
Insane.
significance of
So first of all, Harvard University is private. So this is why we're going to get into the Harvard's legal argument against this, because the government should not be able to like compel your speech in this way and what things you can teach about, especially as a private institution.
Yeah,
That's like the government walking up to McDonald's and be like, nigga, you only gonna sell McChickens with Trump face on the wrapping.
Yeah.
The fuck? You can't dictate that. I'm a private company. So the reason why the DEI shit is crazy, again, like how many times do we have to keep saying it? Diversity, equity, and inclusion is banned.
I saw a thing
There are other humans besides white people, you know.
It's bad.
I saw a thing that like Charlie Kirk said that I think it was some dumb shit where he was like diversity is like the worst thing.
Yes, which is the dumbest fucking thing of all time, because again, even from this is why the military was pushed to be desegregated in the 50s, because at a certain point some people got past their racism to acknowledge that, hey, if we want a well-functioning machine, like a thing capable of defending an entire country, then people who live in that country who went through different things probably have to be heading that military, because if you just have all of one perspective, like imagine you're trying to have a campaign in like Africa or something, and you have no nigga who's even remotely familiar with Africa there.
Yeah.
That can't tell you or your soldiers about the cultural traditions that happen there, how to move when you down there, all types. That's the dumbest fucking situation that you could be in. Getting blamed, get attacked.
That's the shit, right? Like when you hear a lot of like white people talking about like, oh, we don't even have white privilege and none of that. I think even the privilege itself speaks in a sense of like,
You
Nigga, you're
saying
trying
that
to
is
remove
showing that white
literally,
person.
of the sense of like
You don't even
you're
recognize that
you're
is
so far up
literally-
your ass that
Yes.
like we just aren't different.
The
Bro, there's
type of
churches
nigga-
that y'all don't get
These
about.
niggas will be like, y'all get a whole month and be like, yeah.
Yep. The type of
You don't
niggas
even
that'll
get it.
the
You
type,
don't
the
even
type of niggas that will like kidnap you and bring you to a place and force you to do all the work to build that place and then be like, it's crazy that you want to be in this place.
Yeah.
How the fuck
You
did
want to
I
be
get here?
recognized in this place.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. I don't know what fantasy land you live in. There are
Didn't
yeah.
even think we were humans at first.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Like, come on, gang.
So they wrote up all this list of bullshit to Harvard, and it was like, yo, y'all got to do this. Immediately after Harvard said it would not comply with those, because like, what the fuck? The Trump administration froze $2.2 billion in multi-year grants to Harvard.
Isn't that illegal?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that.
Froze.
Yes.
From
They
a
froze
private,
the shit. So
from a private college.
the Department of Homeland Security also said that they canceled nearly $3 million in agency grants to Harvard, and at Trump's behest, the IRS reportedly started scrutinizing the university's tax-exempt status. So, like,
So,
the
triple
president.
illegal.
Let's rewind. The president contacted a college and was like,
Private college.
yeah, a private university, and was like, y'all not teaching this shit that I want y'all to be teaching. Y'all need to install people that will make sure you're teaching what I believe. And they were like, no, what the fuck? Not everyone agrees with you. And they said, okay, we're taking your money and we're going to take your tax exempt status. That's fucking insane.
That's enough.
To the biggest, most like pristine
Yes,
college.
this is
on
the biggest, most
planet.
wealthy. Like, I think Harvard has the
fuck?
biggest endowment of any college. I think in total, like $53-something billion. But most of that money is directed to already go to like certain programs that you can't really touch. This is
Imagine
like,
working your entire life to get to Harvard. You get to Harvard and Trump does some shit like that.
yep.
this
Nut
quick.
ass.
Yep.
Private institution.
So when the good question asking whether or not it's illegal, the administration's actions reportedly skipped over requirements that say that the government must identify and list violations, offer a hearing, and notify Congress, then wait 30 days before applying penalties. So
He didn't do
So
shit.
if it came out at Harvard that they were teaching like, slavery wasn't that bad, XYZ, then if the government was like, yo, this is like racial discrimination, you can't do that, they'd have to be like, yo, this problem is particular right here. This is how this violates that. We're going to offer y'all a hearing to defend yourselves. 30 days later, we're going to take your funding if XYZ is determined. These niggas said, we're going to send you a letter. And you said no, so we're just going to take it. The funny part is they reportedly sent it on accident.
What?
Wait a minute. So you mean these niggas, they sent them?
Yes,
They said they sent it on accident?
Let's peel back again. The layers of incompetence
Rewind.
were
Yeah,
going.
rewind.
The administration, according to the New York Times, they reported pulling from multiple different sources. They sent it on accident. Like they weren't on the same page as to when they were going to
But they
say it.
froze
People
$2 billion?
People in the administration don't know whether or not they were supposed to send it that day or like whether or not they were on the same page. So they sent it, and they were like, and then Harvard's like, okay, are they gonna like retract this shit? Like, what the fuck? Y'all sent this shit on accident? They didn't retract it. A senior White House official went and told the New York Times that the administration was standing by what was in the letter. And then they said it was malpractice for Harvard's lawyers to not call the administration officials about the letter when they received it.
Oh, you gotta be fucking
What?
kidding me. So wait, so you mean to tell me
You're all fucked up.
You mean to tell me I'm over here teaching what I teach? You don't like what I'm teaching, so you send me a letter. Hey, stop teaching that before I stop giving you money. Oh wait, oh damn, I wasn't supposed to send that, but actually,
But still following
I'm standing by what I said, and
y'all are really fucked up.
That's gaslighting.
Bro, that's these people
gaslighting.
are evil.
Dude,
And
are
JJ, bro.
wicked nigga. I'm sitting here thinking like how the fuck does this whole situation even take place? Nigga, you have to understand that like this is the third leak that is hit the
Yeah, that's three.
Are like,
this ain't
No, okay,
All of these
thank
niggas
God
drunk.
you just said
All
that, 'cause
these
I
niggas
forgot.
drunk.
No, actually, what's so scary, because it's like, what do y'all mean y'all weren't on the same page contacting one of the biggest
Yes.
institutions
I
in
was
the
gonna say, you
world?
have
What do you
one job.
mean?
Yeah.
You have one job you do all day. What are you doing in that White? They got to be having like
No, they're both. They are
orgies
partying.
in the White House. Because how are we not on
doing
the same
cocaine
page?
off the Declaration of Independence. nigga.
Niggas doing cocaine up the Constitution and shit.
off some shit because they're not
Something's
reading
happening.
it.
Yeah,
they
they're
not
damn
fucking
sure not
reading it.
reading it. Because if you look at it, right?
Jesus.
So I was wondering, I was like, so Harvard filed their lawsuit against them, like immediately. They're like, what the fuck? The way you did this violates the First Amendment, and it didn't follow procedures outlined by Congress for how you're supposed to do this. So they filed their lawsuit, and I looked into like what their argument is gonna be. And it was so funny, and we'll get into what they're getting at. They said the government has not and cannot identify any rational connection between anti-Semitism concerns and the medical, scientific, technological, and other research it has frozen that aims to save American lives, foster American success, and preserve American security and maintain America's global position as a leader in innovation. So the thing is, ever since the pro-Palestine protests have been happening, right, you've seen a failure from like the Biden administration to like correctly adjust to where people were at on that issue, even calling it a genocide. Like they still won't do it. A lot of people in the country still won't. And you saw that like they were better than Trump, but they didn't like meet the moment. Then you see with Trump, which is what a lot of people said, and what including I said, that he can be and he will be worse on this issue. Now we've become even closer to Israel, and what they're starting to do now is as a warrant to crack down on Palestinians who are here, to deport them, as a warrant to crack down on even spreading like anti-war or not wanting Israel to like genocide people. We're seeing them trying to utilize the universities because the universities were hotbeds for where those protests were happening. So now they're trying to say that there was anti-Semitism. They might pull one or two instances of like a Jewish student that said, oh, I felt uncomfortable by it. And now they're saying you college isn't doing enough to protect against anti-Semitism.
It's discrimination.
That's so fucking funny. That's so funny. And you want to know why that's so funny? We're going to take a little bit of a tangent, but it's going to come back in the end. The FSU shooting just happened, right? Florida State University. To those who don't know.
Condolences.
Condolences
Yeah,
to
all the
everybody.
families,
This was
people lost their
insane.
lives.
I seen oh my goodness. I don't. But go ahead. I'll share.
I was gonna say
when you-
this is insane because keep in mind the Stoneman Douglas shooting happened like years ago. David Hogg, which I'm not gonna get into him, but he's the vice chair of the DNC. He's the one I said he's using $20 million to get Democrats who are better like in their stuff or whatever. And shout out to you because good move. But he survived that shooting, and then he became like a founder of March for Our Lives, which is a big organization that's trying to push like gun reform. A bunch of people who survived that shooting became like activists and were like helping out that. Some of them went to FSU, and now you've had to live through it again. And that shit is
that's
so
traumatic.
Two
fucked.
of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That shit is so fucked. So for those of y'all who don't know, April 17th, Tallahassee police say that FSU student Phoenix Eichner, which was a stepson of a Leon County sheriff,
Wild.
used his stepmom's firearm to gun down students and adults before being shot and subdued by law enforcement. He was taken in alive.
Oh man. Wait, what?
Oh, he's
He
taking
was shot and subdued. Yes, taken in alive. Again.
Allegedly, she probably told him, "Don't kill my son."
Yeah.
Wait.
He was shot and subdued. He was
How
taken in
many
alive.
victims?
There were killed 2, injured 6.
And they took him in a lot. Was it I don't know, race, girl, boy?
White man. White
And they
boy.
took him in alive?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
took him in alive?
They took him in alive. The shooting claimed the lives
He
of...
killed 6?
He killed 2. He
Killed
injured
2,
6.
injured 6. And they took him in alive.
That's fucking wicked, bro.
That's
there
wicked.
was
That'll show you.
there was a lady that was involved in that shooting. She got shot, and she was like
Played
laying
dead?
down. She played dead.
Yep, I seen
for
that.
like a good minute. Wow. And here's what pissed me off. There was another student there, walking around with some
I seen that.
Starbucks, taking a video, aimed the video down at the girl that was playing dead, walked off, continued to drink her
You're
shit.
lying.
They said,
no,
they said
you're
we
lying.
don't have. They said we don't have all the details like completely, but that video does appear to be authentic. That like there was like
She was
Wait,
she
just
like
a random-
bleeding?
Yes, she was
she's
bleeding.
like on the ground.
Wait. Just a random
There's a
student.
student who was like there while the shooting's happening. She's just kind of walking, sipping on her like drink, recording or whatever.
Wait, like casually
On some casual shit.
as though like like the desensitized.
Didn't try to.
Wait,
didn't-
no,
And-
you
and-
hit
and-
the nail on the
And
head,
you want to know
bro.
what's so funny that you brought up how desensitized we become to this? We're gonna get deeper into it because it's not just us. We see where the desensitization comes from. So before we get into that, the shooting claim to lies, I want to talk about the victims just a little bit. Robert Morales, who's an FSU employee and a high school football coach, and Tiru Chaba, who was a married father of 2 from South Carolina. He was at FSU on a work-related visit. Those are the 2 people who passed away.
On a work-related visit, bro. Rest in peace.
It was insane. And then I started looking into like the shooter, what happened, because I immediately was like, he really did this shit and got taken in alive. That's fucking insane.
Nuts.
And then they said a Florida State University mass shooting survivor told NBC's Hallie Jackson that the suspect Phoenix Eichner was a member of the pro-Trump Turning Point USA chapter was kicked out of a college club for white supremacist views. He also had a profile picture that was a Hitler profile picture, and his username online was like the name of the German SS, which was the foot soldiers, like the secret police that would like come and take people away during the Holocaust. Yeah.
And they took him in alive.
They took him alive.
And no one's even talking about. I haven't seen anything about the shooter.
I have not.
You want to know what our president said?
Oh my God, I saw that shit.
Yep.
Gang, what'd he say, bro?
The same nigga that is suing Harvard University because they aren't doing enough to combat anti-Semitism on their campus.
Nigga, y'all ain't.
Saw this shooting with a nigga with a Hitler profile picture and with a nigga who's been kicked out of a political club and was a proud member and supporter of Charlie Kirk's chapter of his organization, Turning Point USA. President Donald Trump reacted to the shooting by immediately defending guns, telling reporters that these things are terrible, but the gun doesn't do the shooting, the people do. You know what's so funny about that? You would think that we'd get a strong condemnation of anti-Semitism, right? You know the underlying viewpoints that probably didn't help when it came to how this shooter rationalized his world and decided to commit this fucking crime.
Yeah, Cookin.
We don't even mention it. But a pro-Palestine protest happens, and now $2.2 billion needs to be frozen from Harvard because they're not doing enough to protect against anti-Semitism.
When the nigga that shot them people is
white nationalist shooters have been the highest domestic terrorism threat for years in this country. And they are voting for you, Donald Trump.
And they got niggas in chains.
They're watching.
They got niggas in chains. They sending to El Salvador talking about they're terrorists. And they're taking niggas like that in alive. That's like.
Then when the shooting happened, because I remember you had told me, he was like, oh, shootings happen all the time or some shit. Like, what did he say?
He said these things are terrible.
Yeah, he was like, but these things happen or some shit like that. What do you mean these things happen,
bro? What do you mean these things happen when y'all can solve the issue and you can go up and
I'm
be like,
supposed to believe that this whole thing about going after these colleges is legitimate and everything because, oh my God, anti-Semitism on these campuses. Charlie Kirk is proudly touting your agenda, man. That's one of your fans who did this. All these people, fucking Michael Knowles, fucking Matt Walsh, fucking all these people who have said white supremacists, white nationalists, and Nazi-esque rhetoric for years at this point are all on your side and are in the White House right now.
They didn't tell the kid to shoot him. They didn't tell the kid to go on to school. They didn't tell him to do it.
Nuts, bro. Nuts. That's how they.
That's what they're going to play it out, bro.
The guns didn't do it. The guns didn't do it. The people did. The people who watch Charlie Kirk. The people who vote for Donald Trump.
Say that dumb shit. What do you think they get?
The people who do this continuously and repeatedly with the same narratives and the same shit that they be writing in manifestos over and over again. And we can't see a through line. But there's a pro-Palestine protest somewhere, and now, my God, there's anti-Semitism everywhere all of a sudden.
We need to give $2 billion.
Yeah, the anti-Semitism is everywhere. It's in the White House.
If y'all don't believe what this nigga JJ is saying, let's just watch how they do Karmelo Anthony. And I'm not excusing that. Exactly. But let's watch how they do that situation versus this situation. They took the nigga in alive. Let me walk somewhere, anywhere, and pop 2 people and injure 6 and see if they taking me in alive, nigga. Yeah. Keep it a bean, nigga. They're putting 60 in my dumb ass, nigga.
They're gonna turn you to a swish kebab.
Nigga.
Yeah. So it's just so funny to see. Cause I initially started looking through the Harvard situation and I was like, damn, I don't know where like exactly this is going. Now that this happened at the exact same time that I'm supposed to believe this administration, some of you dumbass Kanye niggas are using Jewish people as a cover up for the shit that they want to do. They're using Jewish people to justify taking away immigrants' First Amendment. It's not going to stop right there. The next thing is going to be political dissonance. The next thing is going to be anybody who we don't like. You dumbasses are sitting here being like, oh, you know, yeah, doing X, Y, Z.
The guy says,
and the Jewish people profiting off of. These people are literally getting used right now by this current administration to throw flagrant accusations of anti-Semitism to take people's rights away and to strong arm universities into teaching a pro-Trump agenda. And you niggas are sitting at home with your hands folded?
It's gonna have to be they family, bro. It's gonna have to be they family, they mama, they dad, something like that for them to realize, bro. Yep. It's sick, bro.
And you let them every single time. Sit down and say thoughts and prayers. Sit down and say we can't really do nothing about it. Look up how much that person who said that is taking from the National Rifle Association. There will be commas in that number.
Yeah.
Bullshitting.
Multiple bullshitting.
Over here, bullshit.
Hella zeros, bro. Condolences to all the victims.
Condolences to everybody.
Rest in peace,
this
bro.
shit needs to stop happening. And you dumbass niggas needs to stop acting like the Second Amendment means that we can make no smart gun reform.
Yeah, like I think this is the thing, right? I don't understand where it comes from that it's like the Second Amendment is like, oh, like taking away like not even that. Adding gun reform means like taking away all guns. What are we talking about? Like, you could just put certain things in order so to make it harder for things like this to happen.
That's what's so funny.
That's genuinely it.
We've seen these past few months of all the loopholes these niggas done made to like exempt taxes, all types of shit. So you're telling me it's this hard to do some gun reform?
Gang,
bro?
there's
like
no
some specific
reason.
Things, bro. Y'all been doing.
Gang, look at the nigga that tried to assassinate y'all fucking leader.
Yeah.
He was clicked up with a nigga named or not even clicked up, but he had a shirt on that was a Demolition Ranch shirt. Demolition Ranch is a YouTuber. I forgot his name's like Matt something, but he's a YouTuber and he has all these guns. I used to watch him back in the day when I was like a kid because he used to be with Roman Atwood and them. He's like, I guess they're heavy Trump supporter, whatever, because he has all these guns. This nigga got like 50 cal Barrett like sniper rifles. Why? Why does this civilian have machine guns and sniper rifles? That's all we saying. Nobody's saying take away your little ass Glock 19.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying just take all that. And all we're saying is add regulation to the shit.
The original reading of the Second Amendment says like being necessary for like a well-regulated militia, the right of the people to bear arms should not be infringed. They even knew at the time that like, yeah, you all should be able to have guns, but like it should be in a purview of like y'all have a militia, y'all have your rules to it because we don't need niggas just walking around here with anything.
Exactly.
And you niggas think that, hey, maybe we should get rid of this gun. Maybe we should be smarter about like, how we do background checks.
Niggas be 24 still on their parents' insurance.
Health insurance.
With ARs. How the fuck is that possible?
This nigga got
don't y'all remember that one dude, FPS Russia?
Yeah,
niggas shooting tanks and shit.
I remember him. He was
Why do you have
gun
that?
YouTubers.
Why do you have flamethrowers?
Why, bro? You're a boy,
you don't need that shit, bro.
You don't, bro.
So while everything is still happening on the ground, it's still alleged, obviously, all things considered. But we have like a lot of information that's coming out. Hopefully proper justice is due. And you know, maybe we can start establishing a precedent in this country that if you commit a crime, you get to live to see your trial. Or you get to have a trial. But currently, you know, that's up in the air.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody else who I was paying attention to, which it doesn't get any brighter, but also got allegations.
See, who else is up in that fucking air?
Interrogation, allegation, reparation. Legacy.
Shannon
Let's Shannon. All right. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Again.
All right. Let's get into this Shannon Sharpe shit, bro.
Shannon Sharpe.
All right, if y'all don't know, let me read my little, you know what I'm saying. If y'all don't know who Shannon Sharpe is, Shannon Sharpe is all right, page went up. Shannon Sharpe is a Hall of Fame tight end and ultra successful podcast host, among many other things.
Club Shay Shay.
He has been, Club Shay Shay. He got First Take. He got all types of what?
You do the print layout?
Yeah, I got the print layout. I got you. Among many other things, very successful black man. He has been sued over this weekend for $50 million
God damn.
Holy
for
shit.
alleged assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery. This 13-page civil suit was filed against him by a woman who claims to have been in a 2-year consensual relationship with Shannon Sharpe.
Again, okay, before we get into the details, a lot of you niggas don't understand what consent is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If a headline somewhere says that someone was in a consensual relationship with somebody at some point, that does not mean that during no point in that could anything non-consensual could have occurred.
Exactly.
Yes.
You can get with somebody, be like, this my girl, whatever, XYZ. But if your girl tell you, I don't want it, and you continue, that is still like rape, sexual assault, all that above. Yes.
And really, J. William J., I think that's as simple as it get, for real, right?
Yeah, really.
No means no, right?
Simple.
Now, obviously, we're
Keep watching. I know you're mad.
Keep watching. Let's dive into the details, right? Let's dive into the details, right? So obviously, Shannon Sharpe came out, denied all of these claims, of course, right? In an IG post, which was a statement from his lawyer, Laney Davis, right? They said this claim is a blatant, I quote, a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars, right? I'm gonna get through it, and then we gon', you know what I mean?
I'm gonna say, to me, that mean it sound plausible.
At the end of the day, we don't know anything, right? We don't know the details yet. It hasn't came out yet. This is it's a civil suit, so it's not like he's going to jail or anything like that. But like we don't know enough, right? Let's keep diving into it. In the statement, messages from Shannon and the plaintiff's relationships were released to the public. Basically, right? I'm not going into the what happened.
This is what I'll say. When I read these messages, bro,
I didn't read.
I'm like, these are some freaky ass niggas.
Hey, some freak
ball ass niggas.
I'll
Here's
read
the thing,
one
though,
message
like,
for you. Just keep talking till I find it.
Like they're into. How can I say this without
getting our channel striked? You don't gotta say it like
they're into like the tying of the hands on the bed head.
They got like the BDSM
shit. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Which, you know what I mean? We're not kink shaming. Do what you do in the bedroom.
I did want to
especially if it's,
highlight something because when you can read the comment first, but I was gonna say the strategy behind like these texts being released.
I was gonna say let's get into it. Right?
Wicked,
so this is one of the comments, right? One of the text messages, October 7, 2023, dropped by Shannon Sharpe's manager. I know you missed this big juicy ass, 25K for each cheek.
I know people seen that. And
Yo.
like, all right,
hold on. Let me read another one. I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're fucking me.
Oh. Okay. Well.
All right, that's enough of those comments.
Yeah, we'll believe that.
No, we gotta go a little bit
Before
further.
we even go, how old is Shannon? How old is this girl?
Okay.
Hold on.
Before we even get to that.
Let me lock in. Hold on. I've been waiting.
You gotta do the baby comment, bro.
What'd you say?
We'll get to
the baby. Here, I got you.
I'm
I'll do the baby.
so curious.
I'll do the baby real quick. The baby comment was, "That's my daddy." I'm not okay.
Just say F. Just say F. Say F.
That's my daddy. F. I want you to put a big black baby in me. Comment from Gabrielle.
Guys,
Jesus
my
Lord.
first
White
instinct
woman.
was like,
Hey, white woman.
my first instinct was like, please don't be white woman.
I was like, please don't be white woman. Let's get into it,
Shannon,
right?
bro.
Let's get into it. So here's the issue.
Dip in the
right?
snow, you might get frostbitten.
So here's the issue, right?
Okay.
Everybody, we've already seen the angle, and if you guys don't know who Tony Busby is, Tony Busby is the person who basically he's a lawyer. He's her lawyer. That's the person that filed. Not he didn't file it, but that's the person that's helping her file the case. That's her lawyer, right? Her representation. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't find a word. Tony Busby was also included within the Diddy case just a few ago with Jay-Z and them. He actually lost his license. Like, he cannot practice law in the southern district of New York because of that case, actually, right? Because of that, the judge took him off because he couldn't practice law and he didn't tell the judge, right?
Oh, wow.
So Tony got some shady shit there as well, right? And
let's not get it misconstrued as though we fuck with Tony Busby.
Yeah,
I looked into his background or whatever. Wherever you want to, if you want to paint a conspiracy that he just going after the black man, you got to acknowledge the wins. You got to acknowledge the losses because he did get a couple. I forgot who was the football player.
Oh my God, we just talked about it.
We were
I can't
just
remember
talking
what
about it. There was
I
a
can't
football
remember.
player who's also a black man or whatever, and like a bunch.
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of.
A bunch of people accused him of like sexual assault abuse.
It was like
whatever.
50 different. Yeah, it was like 50
Damn.
different. Yeah,
And Tony Busby got him out of there, but Tony Busby also got like a private jet and is like a Republican and kind of gives
threw a
off,
party
like,
for Trump in 2016.
kind of gives off like Doug Dimmadome.
Damn, he
like,
did that?
Rich,
Yeah, he
wealthy
did.
pastor vibes. Like, yeah, we don't fuck with him, right?
Yeah. Now this is our Tony. This is our Tony.
This is Tony. You know,
He looked like a Joel Osteen.
yeah, slick back, you know,
Slick back,
lawyer,
yeah.
It's one of them
greasy
niggas
lawyer
you see
type
on the
shit.
sign when you drive down
For
the street.
sure.
like
For
a
sure.
Glenn Lerner, nigga.
Yeah. Let's get into it though. So basically, and this is why what we're saying here, we're not getting on Shannon when it comes to like we don't know anything.
Yeah,
is
we're
what
not
I'm trying to say.
accusing the
Alleged.
nigga of anything.
You know what I
It's
mean?
alleged,
don't know.
yeah.
But this is what we know. And what needs to be talked about is what's going on right now, right? A lot of people are seeing the audios coming out, which we'll get into in a second. A lot of people are seeing all of the shit that's being spread. He ended up saying a whole like excerpt of this is the shakedown, da 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 da.
Yeah.
What they're doing is they're playing a public relations game.
Yes.
That's what they're doing,
Yeah, okay.
right? They're playing this public relations game to try to see whose side the public is on. As if you guys haven't seen, you done had Umar. Umar came out and was like,
I stand with
I
Shannon.
stand with Shannon, even though he always been a lifetime snow bunny hopper or something like that.
Black Queens forever, snow
Exactly.
bunnies never.
We're seeing where the public is going with this, which is defense for Shannon Sharpe because white woman.
What he represents, like,
And
in
here's
our
the thing,
community
too.
and everything. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing,
This is
too.
Club Shay Shay we talk. This Unc. You feel me?
Yeah.
This is what I don't understand, right? It's a lot of people that say, okay, when a black man gets into a certain amount of success,
That they get targeted.
They get targeted,
yeah.
and shit, right? Okay, cool. Listen.
And as I don't think that's a
Let's not play dumb like it hasn't happened
It
before,
happens,
right?
yeah.
Okay, cool. But here's the thing. If we have multiple examples of this happening, why do niggas keep falling in the trap?
So here's the question I want to pose to everybody, gang. So here's the question I want to pose to everybody. Obviously, the audios came out. I'm gonna get into the audios just a little bit, and then I want to pose the question to y'all, right? So they basically, Tony drops the audio of this 1 minute 30-second clip of a phone call they had. Now, granted, that's that shit, right? You're gonna take a little excerpt of the entire conversation. So we don't know the context of this. We don't know if it was a role play situation, which we obviously know from the other text, right?
These
Which
niggas love role
we
playing.
know something. Yeah, they like the kinky, dominant, subservient. Like that's their relationship, right? They have that, right? The audio comes out, right? This is the word for word audio. She says, "What does that even mean?" He says, "Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now?" Gabby says, "I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me." Shannon says, "Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that word to me one more time, I'm going to fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you." Allegedly. That's what he said, allegedly. We don't know the context of this happening. But let's start posing the question. We've seen these examples in all of this culture. And yes, they targeting them. They You laid in the bed with Shorty. You're 54 years old. This is a 19-year-old woman,
That
right?
was the answer to your question. She's 19.
She's a 19-year-old white woman, OnlyFans model. So,
Jesus Christ.
as
bro.
we
Like,
don't
you gotta,
know,
like, hold on.
listen,
Who the
no,
fuck on?
Let me get into it.
Like,
As we don't know the nature of the situation and the actual right from wrong because it hasn't came out yet, we do have to pose the question: when does it become like a men thing?
When do you
when do you
onus?
sit there and you say, "God damn"?
When is the onus placed on a man's behaviors in these situations? Because like we said, we've had many examples of this, right? And without fail, every time, it just depends on how big the segment of people is. But every time you have the segment of people that's like, man, he ain't really do nothing. They just trying to target. They said the same thing about Bill Cosby.
Oh, and then
So my question begins, right? We have somebody who is known for saying and doing kind of freaky deaky questionable shit, Shay. We had the shit he just...
He a freak, He did this
He
shit
a
with Young
freak.
Miami the other day.
He did this shit with Young
Not
Miami.
saying that he would do this.
Again,
because
this is
obviously
not-
these are...
again, yeah.
Of course, but
let's keep the focus on, if we're going to craft these narratives in our mind about what's happening before the trial happens, then we have to keep it consistent. You can't see a text message where shorty's like $25K for each cheek and you're like, this perfectly matches the whole shakedown thing. Why do you think that girl would feel comfortable texting something like that? That must be something in the nature of y'all relationship.
This is a 2-year relationship. This is not a random one night stand fling, as you just said. This is a 2-year relationship.
So as much as it can be like they targeting, you have to understand. Tony hits with this is the allegations, this is the lawsuit we're filing. So the response is, nah, this is a shakedown or whatever. So he's like, nah, here are the text messages. So you're like, nah, here are these text messages. Y'all are both trying to win in the court of public opinion, and you niggas are taking hook, line, and sinker like you already know what's going on.
That's what they're doing.
And why you have to ask yourself, why are you doing that? Why are you making that assumption?
For everybody listening, turn your ears back on, because I know a lot of people turn their shit with me.
I can't stand these things.
I know a lot of people turn their ears on. We're not saying that. We're not saying that. That either person is in the right here or anybody. We're not saying that those things. Exactly. We're not saying that those things don't happen. Setups don't happen. We're not saying. All we're saying is it's like the Karmelo situation. You have to kind of take accountability for that positioning that you're in, for placing yourself in that. Carmelo Anthony is a completely different situation, but it seems, as we just read, that you were somewhere that you probably shouldn't have been. And for you to get upset and kill someone over that, right? Whether you got hit or not, why were you under the tent in the first place, right? Same thing with this, Shannon. No one's saying that he did it. Nobody's saying she's not shaking him down. The question does pose, right? And I'm going to tell you why that question comes up. Why would you even engage in this with a 19-year-old woman?
Like,
that also rang true, though, when other information came out from his lawyer that there was they tried to reach a settlement before all of the lawsuit and everything came out. They tried to in a conference, they tried to reach a deal and pay out. Actually, I'm not even going to butcher it. Hold on. Lonnie Davis, in a conference call, stated that Shannon Sharpe allegedly offers tens of millions of dollars to settle the case before the lawsuit was filed. When asked to clarify how many millions, he revised his statement and it was allegedly at least $10 million.
Okay, so we have from your lawyer saying,
which is ridiculous. First of all,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm firing my lawyer.
Yeah, you could.
Keep in mind the defense strategy. I love this shit sometimes because I was starting to study law, and it's crazy to see the shit play out. The defense strategy for Shannon's defense is going to be, and has been, this is a shakedown, these allegations are not credible or whatever, and they're just trying to take me for all my money. Cool. So, and I remember some people were saying, oh, the report just came out that he finna make $100 million on that contract or whatever, so it must be a shakedown for that bread. The problem is, right, you heard about the charges a day or a few days ago. You heard about that. Do you think that they gathered all the evidence and then brought this case in a day?
You don't think he knew well before they filed it that this was about to come out?
The instances that are taking place, I believe, happened 2024 or 2023. So this is not why did she wait so long? This is right after it happened, and since they stopped talking, whatever happened, they've been gathering the information to bring the suit, because you have to make sure you're going to win this bitch before you sue somebody like Shannon Sharpe. So you could say shakedown for the bread XYZ. Why then are you immediately offering tens of millions? Maybe $50 million we're talking about. So tens is what, 20, 30? You offering tens of millions and then revise it to at least $10 million to settle it. And then when it didn't settle, now it's like you're being shook down for all this bread. If you're being shook down and the allegations aren't credible, then why didn't you immediately?
25 and ass cheek.
So let's
10 million.
Let's really talk about it. Let's really talk about it. There's a lot of people that's gonna say, well, why would you want to pay 10 or 50 million if you could pay 10? Hey, let's get into it. If you got $50, because you ain't got 50 million, you got $50. And someone comes up to you and it's like, I ain't gonna lie, you slapped me. You just slapped me in the face. You owe me $10 out the only $50 you got. You gotta get gas, you gotta eat, you gotta do what you gotta do. You owe me $10 out of that 50. You gonna look at that nigga and be like, you're crazy as shit.
Especially if
why
you
the
slap him.
Right.
Why the fuck?
So who are you?
Who are you? Why would you just walk up on me and say that? And now you expect me to give you $10 out of my 50.
Right.
Oh, well, Matt, it's different. Numbers are bigger. Okay, let's talk about the Jay-Z situation. I didn't see Jay-Z.
Jay-Z,
Tony,
bro.
same lawyer, Tony. I didn't see
Jay-Z was like,
I didn't see
let's get
Jay-Z
it.
fork up hella money.
Drewski
Right.
didn't pay nobody.
Drewski
ain't pay nobody.
I didn't
Yeah.
pay shit. And I'm not saying that that's
That
the
does
case,
not
but
mean that
those
he's
are the
guilty.
things.
Right.
Those are the things that we have to think about.
Going back
$10 million is a lot of money, bro.
Yeah. And what you were saying, because I wanted to connect it to your point, is in the sense of like when shit like this happens, we always kind of damn near take the men's side of it. I saw this thing literally on my way back to the apartment today of Cameron in an interview, or not even an interview, on his podcast, and he was like, well, he was like, I'm gonna let y'all know this was a shakedown. He was like, she was trying to shake him down because he moved from LA to Nevada and she did the same thing and moved in with him. Why, if you're getting abused, would you move in with your abuser?
Oh no!
Do you know how insane that is? to
abusers don't move with their abusers?
I've
y'all.
never
This
heard-
is the first time I've heard this.
I've never heard of an instance of someone being abused and staying with
still
their
staying.
abuser.
And no, we're not talking
Y'all
about
ask the same question every time this shit happens.
every time. And we're not talking about just some normal. This nigga's about to have $100 million deal.
It's like, gang. It's like
We're talking about a person with influence.
We
You have no
genuinely-
idea what that dynamic.
you
of
have
that
no
relationship
idea
was.
what that
So
is,
you
right?
can't even take the
mind
side
you-
of the man.
and
bro.
again, because it's like, right, you can use your reasoning skills in the same way. It doesn't always have to be pro, like the nigga, he couldn't have done anything wrong. You do understand, right, that we're talking about somebody with like millions of dollars, right? We're talking about all this shit. You immediately feeling as though like, oh, it's a shakedown, XYZ, she's just trying to take the money. Do you understand what else comes with filing a lawsuit against a Shannon Sharpe? It comes with hate. That comes with your reputation being cooked. Everyone now knows Shorty name. Or
and
whatever.
that's the reason why winning the public image is so significant. Because if you do, there's a lot of the time that these cases drop off before they even get into it. Because this person, you have one person that's getting the, oh, it's a shakedown, and you have one person that's getting the, you're a demon, you're a,
Yeah.
bro, that'll make somebody be like, okay, just all right. Especially if, and we getting too deep.
Yeah.
But especially if somebody came and was like, okay, you see what it is now, $5 million. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? But that's all alleged. But that might
And
not
then going
happen.
back
Of
to the
course.
alleged thing, bro. It's
You know what I
not
mean?
not saying that because we don't know if he did it.
Yeah.
But people need to look at it, bro. Shannon Sharpe, I'm not gonna lie, done said some nuts.
He done said some
He
nuts
said
shit.
he'd have Meg Thee Stallion stretched out like a 4:45.
Oh my god!
And then he said it was him, Ocho, and Deion Sanders in a podcast. And he was talking about how he was having sex with a girl. And he was
Back
like,
shot.
and it was something about
He was
like him pleasing a girl. And
he was like,
he was like, don't worry, but
yeah,
I don't know
was
what
like,
she
was
said
like, you
then.
gonna have me like fart or something like that. And
Yeah.
backshot, and he was like, don't worry, baby, I genuinely make him shit.
Bro, I'm not saying now, going back
Not
now.
saying that,
Again,
that
no,
anyone
no,
watching
again,
heard
no,
this.
and you
We
know what we're
don't
getting
know.
at. We're not, you know what we're getting at. Not saying like that. Oh, he definitely did X, Y, Z. But like now that adds a little context to them text messages you read, right?
Uncle is
No,
like,
that's what it is,
freaky
bro. You
ass
have to look at those certain traits
That boy
to
freaky
be. I
as
think
hell,
those certain
bro.
traits are very important, so you don't result to victim blaming.
You cannot,
Right,
you
yeah.
cannot
You should not do
immediately
that,
victim
bro,
blame
at all.
You can't.
Because you
can't.
just don't know.
'Cause I
And if it
think-
come out one way, then okay, y'all gonna see us on the jam saying, yeah, they ain't saying like this.
Yeah.
And if
And
it come
even-
out another way,
if it comes out, if it comes out and
Ninja.
Shannon is held liable for the shit or whatever, then it's like, hey niggas, we was talking about it. Like you can't immediately victim blame. But if it comes out that he didn't do nothing, the point still remains that you shouldn't be victim blaming. You still shouldn't be
until the evidence is presented. I don't think that's the case. And it's actually crazy to me that you have so many people that are like,
Instantly,
Yeah,
quick with
and
it.
There's something that I heard that was talked about that was like it's Kendrick brought it up a couple times where it's like fame doesn't equal morality in the sense that like you're falling into this mental trap again. Yeah, it sucks sometimes to see people, especially in the black community, get accused of certain shit or like big figures get taken down for certain shit or whatever. Yeah. The fact still remains that false allegations rarely fucking happen. Any study that you're going to search is going to put it in between like 2% and 6%. And just because something was a false allegation, that means that they couldn't prove it. That doesn't mean that the action didn't happen. So when you actually whittle down how many times a woman is lying about it, most of the time when they say some shit like that, it gets, you'd be dumb as fuck to bet on the nigga in that
exactly.
that is
situation.
true.
And it sucks to see, right? But again, that fame does not track with morality. Somebody could be a great person, you love watching their content, amazing, and then do some really fucked up
wild
shit.
shit. It's happened so many
happens
times,
all
bro.
the
Just 'cause
fucking
they're
time.
happens all the time, bro.
But y'all will be in the comments being like, man, nah, these bitches crazy.
Like,
Statistically, they not. So whoa.
Can we talk about another thing, bro? Usually when you see cases like this, usually the age dynamic is close. We're talking about a 54-year-old with a 19-year-old.
we talking about somebody that just
they're
got
trying
out of
to get
high
rid of a
school.
black man.
Very
Allegedly,
dominant.
but
Dominant.
you have to look at those things.
That's a very dominant power dynamic. That's all.
54
54 and Shannon Sharpe
and
to
millions
19,
of dollars,
yeah.
and she's trying to get rid of a black man, and she's 19 and an OnlyFans model. Guys, you have to look at that.
You have to understand it, man. And,
Come on,
I feel
bro.
like he got caught playing in the snow, man. And it's
Got frostbite, my
fucked
nigga.
up. It's fucked up. But I was gonna go straight into before we get into the movie we just saw about playing in the snow
because somebody else got
frostbite.
we had let's get into a more positive aspect. Before we get into that, somebody who be right with Ryan Coogler, their West Coast vibe, Kendrick.
Not enough.
He back in the news. It's not enough.
What'd he do,
You're
gang?
a goat, bro. He just brought up Kendrick. Kendrick became the brand ambassador of Chanel.
Crazy.
Chanel.
I've been seeing his Chanel face, bro.
Bro, it's
Chanel.
Coco Chanel.
He been doing some crazy shit since like even around like Mr. Morale era. I think there was that. You seen that clip where there's the models walking at like that what's it called show? Whatever.
Yeah, and he's just rapping.
Yeah.
Going
He was
crazy.
just rapping.
He was there with that.
Yes,
He
bro.
wrote. They did like a
And I think it was hard, and a lot of people was like, "Oh, that's like." A lot of people weren't surprised because I mean, if you kind of like pay attention, like before, he was always kind of like repping Chanel, and then on top of it, he was at the show doing the rap performance. And a lot of people don't know PJ Lang they did kind of like this creative commercial for Chanel, advertising one of their collections that would have.
I seen it. It was like an unreleased Kendrick song that was put on it. It was like some like folk-esque like I was like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, and it was a nice trailer.
Yeah, and people, hell yeah. And a lot of people don't realize like PJ Lang done like a whole bunch of nice like commercials for like they did ones for like Chuck and Converse. It was like a whole bunch of cool shit, but kind of like seeing the history he's had with Chanel, like for him to become the brand ambassador. Mind you, Chanel does mainly woman collect. They don't do men shit. It's only woman shit. So now like him being a black man there as a brand ambassador is cool. And not only kind of like seeing the timing of it because Matthew, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but
Whoa!
Like, damn, government.
God, what did I do?
designer.
Matthew. Matthew.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. I think it's like Blazy, but he left Bottega and became the creative director of Chanel. And that had just happened recent. So the kind of seeing like the little pieces falling of him going to Chanel and then Kendrick become brand ambassador and the new collection that they're going to present of his new one.
Oh, I can't wait for that
Does it
collection.
make you more confident that they didn't make him like creative director? They made him like just a brand ambassador.
Yeah,
that
just
fits?
a brand ambassador. That fits.
'Cause
If it was anything higher than that, I'd probably lose my
because I don't know if I would.
If it was creative director
of
shit.
Chanel.
yeah, but no, they had just got Matthew in there, so it's like. But if it was anything higher, I'm done with fashion. I'm going AutoZone, nigga. But yeah, no.
Mechanic.
And I like how they kind of do like those like little kind of like promo things, and that kind of ties in back to like last episode of like when I was talking about being a creative director and why a lot of celebrities shouldn't do it. I think this is the proper approach to kind of advertise your collection, bro.
Yeah.
You got a new creative director. You got Kendrick to be a
how many
brand
people now
ambassador.
gon- yeah.
Exactly. Y'all done had history with that person. He done did work for y'all. Y'all done did work for him. That's perfect
That's it.
change, bro.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think
gonna be.
it's gonna be some fun shit. Yeah, I'm actually, you know what? One thing I'm very excited before we talk about.
We gotta get in that tax bracket so we can buy some shit.
Right.
Buy some shit. Nigga, fuck that, so we can be at the shows.
Nigga,
Fuck.
hell yeah.
Bro,
I
and
would love
I'm really
one of
excited
those.
because you brought up the unreleased music. I'm excited to kind of see like on this next show because it's in October. I want to see if Kendrick will
They're
have
gonna
some
have some
music
music.
there because he is the brand ambassador. Because it's like that promo. So I wonder what unreleased tracks will have.
Yeah, that's
Nah,
having
I've been-
like
huh?
the
I've been
biggest
hearing-
rapper, the
Yeah.
brand of it.
Yeah, that's
I've been
insane.
hearing the rumors. Like I don't know when Kendrick is going to drop again, but he hasn't stopped making music. He's gonna be writing like some stuff on. I think Taylor Page, who was on Mr. Morale, she's making an album. I think Kendrick has writing credits on there. He's already I think he just got a new record deal, so he's like making like he's been in the studio.
He's
This next year,
Run
you can
hell.
be getting gone, man.
Jesus.
That's crazy. And I was gonna say, it's super cool to see, like, especially like a black man in that position, and just like these West Coast niggas. I remember I got super surprised the other day because someone I'm mutuals with, Straw Hat, he's a TikToker.
Yeah,
Straw He sat down.
Oh,
He had,
Straw
like,
Hat Goofy?
Yeah,
Bro.
he's cool as hell.
Insane.
That
dude's
they
dope.
were mutuals. I was freaking out.
Yeah. And he did like a podcast, and he did like a sit down interview with Ryan Coogler.
Mm-hmm.
And I never heard Ryan Coogler speak.
Yeah,
Bro,
I never heard of
deepest
him.
West Coast
Bro, tripped
accent
me out
you
like
ever
shit.
heard.
But you know what it was? It's different because like before he would code switch, so like it wasn't as heavy as it was. Yeah, before, because I remember seeing, I think he did not a lecture, but he had this one interview, and he does not sound how he sounds now. But I mean, you think about it, new upcoming director, nigga.
Yeah,
gonna have
pop
code
your
switch.
shit, nigga.
But
Hell
it's
yeah.
the fact
So
that
now he
like,
popping this shit, and
and
look
it's
at
the
the
fact-
movie.
look at it,
And
bro.
look at the movie. I think the first we're gonna get right into the doom of the day, the moment
of
y'all
the
have been
day.
waiting.
I'm gonna explain to y'all because from my segment, I just connected it to the doom of the day.
Yeah.
The whole Sinners thing, bro. We gotta talk
Yeah.
about it, bro.
So I've been seeing so much.
Talk about it last night.
we have
Yeah,
been, bro.
we have not talked about. This is our first conversation about this movie, like since seeing
W
it.
fucking
So
movie,
we
bro.
have we went. I've been seeing so much. I didn't get anything spoiled. Surprisingly, I just seen that Ryan Coogler did it. I seen a video about where he was talking about the aspect ratios, about how partially they were filmed in 2 different aspect ratios at different points in the movie, and how like insanely
I was gonna
complicated
say,
it
can
is
you
to do
tell
that.
them like how nuts that is as someone who does like certain film cinematography?
Like there was a whole bunch of shit in that movie that I found insane. But me and Matt were while we were watching it, right? It started off, and I liked how it changed the mood. They were singing in the car, right? And like there was no borders, like it was wide as hell. You kind of see everything, and like the noise, like of the song, it was loud. And then it was like instant flash cut, silence, bars went down, aspect ratio changed. It changed the whole tone of it, and then that's when the white guy jumped out. and there was sun on it.
That's-
But
bro,
that's
when
how
he-
the
That's
whole tone
it
of
changed right there.
It changed right there. Look, he peeped it. Yeah.
Gang, he hit the
We
floor.
will spoil this movie.
I'm
if you
telling
click
you we're gonna
off
spoil it.
right
We're gonna
now.
tell- yeah,
click
click
off
off.
if you don't want to be spoiled.
And before you go, I want to explain it even more.
explain it,
The
explain it,
thing
sorry.
about aspect ratios that it's very important because I remember editing and I was kind of really understanding it. When you kind of have like no borders and it's kind of just wide, you see the full picture. It's not as cinematic as it will be with borders, so you can kind of feel the tone and energy shift of that said scene. So go back to what you were about to say.
We're sitting there. He jumps out he jumps, right? He lands on the floor. You immediately see the bars come out. I was like, did you see it, bro? It tripped me out because, bro, you don't see that.
Yeah,
that was in
you
the
don't.
middle of the movie, and
Before-
it changed the entire tone of the like from that point, especially after watching it and realizing what that part was. From that point, completely changed the entirety.
Yep, that was the first appearance. Before we even get into all that, so Ryan Coogler is a very prominent like black director. He did he did Black Panther, yeah.
Black Panther, yeah, he did a
did-
whole Black Panther.
He did Black Panther. He did
Creed.
Creed. And
what's the
then,
one with the train or something like?
I know
Fruit-
what you're talking
what
about.
was
It's
it?
like
Train-
Fruitvale, some
Yeah,
shit.
Fruit Valley, something. I forgot what it's called.
But it's with Michael B.
Yeah,
Jordan.
Michael B.
Yeah,
Jordan,
and
yeah.
and fun fact, most of his films are with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan
That's
directs
crazy.
Most of his films, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that, but that's crazy. One of the first things that I seen about Ryan Coogler was I remember it went viral maybe a couple years ago where he had tried to go to the bank and like withdraw some money, and they thought
That
he
was
trying to-
him.
Yeah, they thought he was trying to rob the place or whatever because it was like a big amount
like
of
10,000
money.
or something like
yeah,
that.
it was like a big amount
Yeah.
of money. They called the cops and they put him in like handcuffs. They have like the body cam footage. He's explaining, he's like, the fuck, like I'm
Like, I'm me, nigga.
I'm Ryan Coogler. I'm here to like pull out like
Yo,
the bread
kids
that I
watch my
put in y'all-
films, nigga.
Yeah, I put
But,
my bread in your bank and y'all doing XYZ. So he's been out here like he's a genius.
Yeah.
He's been out here,
Bro,
yeah.
he done got nominated for an Oscar. He done got multiple NAACP awards, bro.
W.
He done I think got nominated for a Golden Globe Award.
Globe,
W.
a globe and gold.
By the way, so that's kind of like the history of his achievements. Now, talking about Sinners. Sinners was so big, it broke the box office record, highest grossing since 2019. And 2019 was Nope. And Nope had got like how much
by
did Nope
Jordan
get? I think
Peele.
Nope earned like 45 million, and then Sinners got 48 million.
Damn.
Yes, bro. That's how big this movie was.
I remember.
And too, you gotta also put in there that the nigga after 25 years, he gets to own his own movie, bro.
We're gonna get into that. I want to get into. I want to.
Wait, what's that?
Let's.
We gonna get into that. Come on.
Wait. Let's talk about the movie first, and we'll get to the fallout because these niggas been tweaking on Ryan Coogler, and they gonna piss me. Okay, so I had heard all the stuff about like the amount of money it did or whatever. I seen like a lot of the shit that's been going on. I've been trying to duck and dodge, not get spoiled. But then we go in, we see the movie. That movie, I can say, I think it lived up to its hype.
Oh,
yes.
sure.
I think
sure.
the writing in that movie, the double meaning behind so many different things.
Like just to say a few. I remember.
I'm so angry I can't remember everything.
Bro, just to say,
I gotta watch it again.
But one that we both caught was the like Chinese lady, family.
Let me explain.
Yeah, explain it.
Explain that shit, bro.
So there's.
I'm sorry, if she's not Chinese, Asian. I should have said Asian.
I don't know.
In the movie, she was. I remember she.
Because the dude spoke Mandarin, right?
Yeah. She
Oh, okay.
In the movie, she was.
Yeah.
He looked at our producer. Oh shit! I looked at our producer.
So I remember because I was like, there was so much shit I wanted to like think about. Like even they talked about like going up north and how like segregation was different up north in like Chicago or whatever. They shot out Chicago a lot.
Chicago ain't nothing but like
Chicago a lot. I'm sitting in Chicago watching that. But I'm like, that was super cool. Then I remember there was one part that I could never get out of my head because I immediately deep what was happening as soon as it was going on. It was the part in the movie where the Asian woman or Chinese woman, she's like, it's right after Stack, I believe it is. He's like,
he gets turned.
Yeah. And he like dead in the other room, whatever. And everyone's like freaking out because they're like, what the fuck's going on? Bro's like, yeah, y'all gotta go home, da-da-da. And then the Asian woman, she goes, oh, like, let's go. And the dude she's with, she's like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, no, we're here to help them with the party, not with this. And I was like, damn, that went over so many.
It went over my head, bro. I didn't know until you told me.
So that happens, and then like even later on, she ends up
the significance of that is the fact that like okay, sorry.
Even later on, you see like shit with how like she's moving. I feel like everyone.
Remember when the three of them, the white man was talking to her at the door, and she almost let him in.
So we're gonna start here. So the thing that part represented or whatever, it speaks to like what we talk so much about, how there's obviously intertwining between Asian and Black culture in like the United States. And usually the only thing like we'll talk about is like Asian people in our communities that own like beauty supply stores or that have like restaurants or whatever, which is like helping in the sense that like you're providing resources to like this community. But when it comes to an issue within the Black community, when it comes to our lives being on the line, when it comes to our safety,
when it comes to the demons at the door,
when it comes to the demon at the door, come to the door and start speaking your language. Affirmative action on some shit. That part of the show is so genius. It's when they the vampires or the white people come to the door and the dude starts speaking Mandarin, saying, "Oh, it's better over here. You don't gotta be with like the Black people, whatever." X, Y, Z. What is that? That is the white man like sweet talking to Asian people, which is exactly what the fuck happened during the affirmative action shit. They literally took Asian people, weaponized and said, damn, y'all not getting into these schools. That's why we got to get diversity programs the fuck out of here. Mind you, I remember one of the people that they used to justify that whole thing was someone who didn't like, he had a 1600 SAT and he just didn't get into like one or two schools or whatever.
Crazy.
Like you could go anywhere, and he said, "Oh, I didn't get into this one. It's because racism." Crazy. And they use that as like part of their whole thing. They will convince you that you're not suffering from the same like discrimination, the same racist ass views they have about you by speaking your language, by talking you up, by making you feel confident.
So do you want to know why? Go ahead. No. You want to know why? Like, how genius this movie is. When you look at supernatural movies, you always kind of have in the back of your mind what was the cause of how they became to be, or what was the origins of them.
You don't know.
Nigga, we had shit, in that movie, bro, they didn't have to even explain where these vampires came from, anything. These niggas just popped up. But it was so many concepts in the movie, you didn't even think about it. You didn't think about why there was supernatural shit. You didn't think about those plot, because it's was no point because there was so many concepts in it that connected it all.
Somebody in my community asked me, they were like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to watch it. It's gory, etc." I was like, "I don't like gore. I didn't even like.
You didn't even pay attention to the gore, bro.
You're so into all of the other storylines that it's like you're not remotely thinking about that. Even the religious, even the religious.
Bro, that was hard.
Bro, when
that was
in the
hard.
water, and he's our Father which art in heaven.
That was hard.
He's our Father which art in heaven.
And he starts saying the same shit. Yep.
Thy kingdom come. He's the demon
Mind you,
bro.
Mind you,
gang.
The preacher boy. His dad is a preacher, and he's the one who's like passing like this religion. So when all else fails and the kid is terrified in the scenario, he goes back to what his dad taught him. He starts saying that prayer. And
who taught his dad?
Who taught his dad?
Bro.
Did you even ask him? Like,
Did you even
Bro,
ask?
peep this, right, bro? I thought this scene was genius because I knew the context of like the ownership and all that other shit. I'm gonna read this quote Ryan Coogler was talking about of freedom and kind of ownership. Ryan Coogler expressed that truth. It's not gonna be too long.
I'm just speaking because we really gotta get into it, bro.
Dead ass. Ryan Coogler expressed that true freedom for black artists is not just having the opportunity to create, but owning the work they create and building a legacy from it. He specifically highlighted this in the relation to his new film Sinners, where he sought to own the movie rights, viewing as meaningful step forwards towards black ownership of their own culture. Now, going about that when he was talking about true freedom and what you own, you know what scene I really like? And I think this is like the notorious scene where they all were dancing and they were all in the house, right? And there was one continuous shot of everyone
crazy.
That was one of the most nut shots I've ever seen,
right?
Bro.
And it was kind of like they were singing and it kind of connected that like it was all one and they owned that. They own that music and they own that their own culture because that's black culture. And you notice as it was going and then the house was burning down. And then as the house was burning down, it's because you remember they were convinced that they owned that house, but mind you, they never owned the house.
I didn't even hate that.
They owned it. Was the Klans. They owned the house.
Klan
And
owned the shit.
as the house was burning down,
And then they were
still
standing
in the middle
outside just
dancing,
watching it
still
burn and shit.
But going to the people who was dancing, they didn't even pay attention because think about it, they owned that. They owned the music that they were singing because that's their own culture. They didn't own that home. And then y'all saw as the flames were going in, the instead of it being a flash cut to those white people standing outside, it kind of blended into the sky, and then it went straight to them looking outside of them on like the house on fire as they were dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I give it
and to kind of seeing that, it was like, damn, that like just showed what he was going on with the point of just ownership and owning your own culture.
Having that own culture, even in the midst of the fact that like it's burning down around you, you're still dancing. Like everybody's still dancing in that thing, bro. That movie was,
And then
I think say. Sorry.
Okay, so after that scene, right? One of the concepts that I got from this too was a cultural appropriation as well. So niggas dancing in the house going crazy. As soon as that scene is over,
Yep.
hey,
Get
how
that
y'all
knock on the
doing?
door. Yeah. Well, we just want to dance.
We just want to dance with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Nigga stole everybody in that bitch.
Let me tell you something. Shannon. White woman. Bro, I will say this. Maybe they would have got caught. Maybe they would have whatever. You know what I'm saying? All they have to do was wait till that morning time, though. They all would have got out of that if it wasn't for Stack and that white woman. Because Smoke told him, don't allow these people in. Stack ass with the white woman.
We can get them to give us some more money.
They can give us money. We could. Let me just go talk to him. Shorty went to go talk to him. Came back, brought the devil.
Don't even
Crazy.
understand it because it's a critique of capitalism under everything too. Because at every inflection point in the movie, that money is brought up. She goes out there and ends up inviting them in and succumbing to the same shit because over the money. At the end of the movie, when they done took everything from this man or whatever, and he goes out and he gets the guns and he goes crazy or whatever. At the end, where the Klan member, the nigga's on the ground, man, I got some money for you. Let's listen. And he kills him anyway because he's like, yo.
And even what did they throw in? What did they throw in? How did Stack die again? Bro, she was riding him and she ate the nigga's soul, or ate the nigga. Gang.
Yeah.
That's even using lust. Like how the lust and even like the black man lusting for that white woman. You use that lust and you got called out like that, nigga.
And then that's
straight like that.
And then
nigga.
like,
Damn, nigga.
further, guess what? That white woman walked in at the end. Remember when bro ages up and everything?
Oh, yeah.
With the hair, with the nails,
With the
done,
nails,
with the black aesthetic.
Yeah.
Cultural appropriation.
Why?
Bro,
It
I
be
think
it be on people.
It be your own people.
people when he said that we were at the door. I think,
And at the
bro,
end of the day, what the black man have? He had no money. He just had his music, right?
Had his music,
jazz
bro.
music, bro. I thought
Crazy,
like
bro.
Holding on to the thing he said. Like, all right,
Bro.
continue. Sorry, my bad. That shit's just crazy.
That was all right,
We gotta
bro.
watch that bitch again.
We did, bro. I think the cinematography was amazing. I think it told.
Cinematography.
I think it told what it needed to be said. Literally on the opening scene when the brothers were standing by the car, and I don't know if y'all peeped. Like it kind of felt very long for them to just be holding a cigarette. And I and I know it was intentional. And I really like because you kind of saw the dynamic of like they're really brothers because they just passing it back and forth, waiting. They're just
that's
waiting,
like-
and then he pulled up.
And that's like the calm before what the hell's about to happen. They just
right?
chilling.
And the tone was serious.
Even the end of the movie, remember when he was rolling and he couldn't roll it without his
Couldn't roll
brother?
without him, bro.
Gang!
And that's how
I didn't even
significant it
peep
was.
it.
That's how significant it
And
was in the
mind
start
you-
because
Sorry.
I thought it was so significant because it was like they were brothers, and then it went from like I'm nothing without you because I'm you, bro. Because like we're one.
And
when
literally,
he was gone, he couldn't run.
Michael B. Jordan is playing
Played
himself
both of them.
twice.
Playing both
So
of them
mind you, they're
twice.
passing
Nigga had
that
to
cigarette
shoot
back and
the
forth, and they're
scene.
focusing. I caught it when they were doing it. They're focusing. They did so many intentional angles where you're seeing both of them at the same time interacting like it's two separate people when it's not.
You know what?
And that's
the first
so cool.
The first
to do.
start of
Also,
that
what
was
were the colors of the brothers?
Red and
Blue and blue. Red and blue.
Like,
red and blue, bro.
nigga, that movie's nuts.
Yeah.
That movie's nuts.
Going
Red
back
and
to
blue.
what you said, I peeped the first interaction with both of them because I wonder how they were going to do it. Literally, the start of the movie, lit the cig.
Yeah.
That was literally
Yeah.
the first like interaction of
Yeah.
like both of them.
And there's so many like ways in which like you think that you wouldn't take it seriously. Like you have Michael Jordan playing himself, like the two brothers or whatever. Then you have like vampires coming out the woodwork. Like you think it's so
I
out
said
there,
this.
and all the shit
It
works.
took me like way too long to realize they were vampires. That's how good this story. No, because genuinely, bro, leave it to black people to make a cool vampire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nigga, like
to that.
Yeah.
bro, like nigga, that was crazy. I didn't even peep it was vampires until like, and mind you,
another-
it was like Twilight vampires. The
the teeth and shit.
neck, the red eyes, like Twilight vampire. I didn't even peep it because it was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And the thing that I love about that movie too is the diversity in there too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
They had the Native
The Native
that
Americans,
scene was
And they
so
were so
fucking
right,
hilarious.
man.
They said
and the white people did not listen because they viewed him as a threat. And the real threat was
The ones in your home.
was damn self.
You don't even
Crazy.
realize it, bro.
The shit about that scene, bro, it made me. It was, bro. I was dying, bro. It was like niggas pulled up, right? Buddy already got into the house already. He smooth. They come out the crib with the guns or whatever. Native American, hey, you know, we're looking for somebody. You seen him around? They, no, we don't gotta get off my porch. He peeks in the back. He sees the Klan outfit in the back. Okay.
May God be with you.
May God be with you. He got the fuck up out of here.
fuck up.
He said,
That
yeah,
nigga
may
got on
God
that
be
horse
with you, bro.
and
and you want to know what that's also a critique of? It's acknowledging that like yes, white supremacy hurts you niggas too.
Yeah,
It hurts white people too,
Literally.
and you niggas are too clouded by your own biases and your own racism. to
Didn't even see the
understand.
demon in your own
understand
home.
it.
The nigga was burning in front of you. You didn't even see it.
Yeah.
And one thing I do want
damn.
to, I want to get
That's
into.
Donald Trump.
You brought up the Donald Trump.
Trump was the
Trump
nigga.
popped up on the end credits of the movie.
Trump was the nigga burning, and the MAGA people are the motherfuckers that
Who let
invite
them
him in the home.
Yeah.
Going back to what we first started off, and you didn't know about the deal Ryan Coogler struck with Warner Bros. When it first started, right? So I'm chilling because we all saw the whole Ryan Coogler press run, and everyone's going crazy because it was like, yo, like it's this West Coast director. He's about to make a vampire movie. Let's see what this is, bro. So I'm seeing videos, and then I see this one video. This guy, he brought up a news article of like why this is going to be the end of Hollywood from Ryan Coogler. And I was confused. I was like, so what did he do? So apparently, before making Sinners, he went to Warner Bros. And kind of went up with like, hey, I'm gonna need $90 million because that was the budget for the movie. But in like, there's like, you know, some demands that he wants to make with it. So the first ask he made was he wants his pay up front, in a sense of usually how directors will get paid is they get paid once the studio makes their profit, so they make the money after. He's like, no, I want it on like opening box office. That's when I want my bread. That was his first ask. The second
Get a
ask,
Lambo, nigga.
the second ask was he asked for the final cut of the movie, as in the whole final cut of the movie, everything. That's what he asked for after it. Then the third cut, and this was the most controversial, and they were saying this is why this is going to be the end of Hollywood. After 25 years, he wants full ownership of Sinners. Because right now,
From Warner Bros.
From Warner
Yep.
Bros. Yeah.
Damn.
On your master
And he
shit.
got it?
Yes.
Yeah, they got it.
And here's the thing, though. The reason why he got it is because they didn't believe in the film, bro.
They didn't believe him.
They said they're not gonna do that much anyway, nigga. We're not gonna take that much of a loss.
Damn. All
didn't
black
go
people
into
go
it.
run that shit up.
Yeah,
I'm going to see it again.
I'm going to
So
see it.
I
I'm going to see it again.
So when it came to his second ask, when it came to because that was a significant thing too, because most directors don't get the final cut. Is directors will seek the final cut authority for creative reasons. However, the right is usually only granted to established directors who have been determined by their record to be bankable. So in the sense of make that profit for it. So most directors aren't doing that. So he ends up getting it, and it's like. First off, going back to the whole kind of news article of them saying, well, this is the end of Hollywood. Going to his third ask of asking for, after 25 years,
The full ownership.
there has been few directors. There's been some directors who have asked for the final cut, and there's been no thing.
No issue.
Case in point, Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino had left this, I forgot what previous studio he was with, but he left it and then went to Sony to make Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, to make that movie. And he ended up striking a deal of full ownership after like a decade. He would get full ownership of
After
Once
a
Upon a Time in
decade,
Hollywood.
10 years.
And that's a rare deal. And
And I never heard about that.
Mind
Yeah.
you, no, you've never heard of it. You haven't heard of it. Why are we hearing about this?
I was gonna say
He's a black man.
I screenshotted a headline.
He's a black
I
man.
believe I don't know if it's in the New York Times or some shit or whatever, but there's a headline that says Sinners is a box office success with a big asterisk in parentheses, and then the subcaption says Ryan Coogler's original horror film was expected to sell a strong 46 million in tickets over the weekend, enough for #1, but its profitability remains a long way off. When have you
Bullshitting.
ever
Bullshitting.
heard an article talking about the profitability of the budget of a movie after they break the #1 box office record that's been there for 5 years?
Nuts.
You've never heard that.
Black
And
man.
then going back to
Black
it, right?
man.
Now, some people will be like, well, why
Even
are-
Ben Stiller called that shit out.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
what the
Shout
fuck?
out Ben
Because, like,
Stiller.
what-
Shout out Ben
because, like,
Stiller.
what? Because like, it's all gonna connect. Like a lot of people will be like, okay, so what's the like? Why are studios freaking out? Why are they making like news headlines? So basically, what it means is the lifelong long-term value of like film properties is what makes a studio a studio. An anonymous executive told Vulture insides worried that this deal will create a precedent and cannibalize the value of studios' library, which continues to earn revenue through licensing and distributing to different channels like pay-per-view. Another unnamed exec said this deal could be the end of the studio system. You saying that whole time years ago,
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino got the full ownership of his film and no one heard anything about it.
Exactly.
And you
Nobody
already
gave a
said,
fuck.
No one gave a fuck. And you already said that most directors still don't even get the final cut of the film unless that director itself is making profit for the movie. So most directors can't even make that act. So why is that the end of Hollywood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That literally makes no sense.
Yeah, I feel what you're
That
saying,
makes
though.
no sense
They
in the sense of-
demonizing it, and then they send out
Exactly.
that
I get it.
end of Hollywood. and you have
Dissuade
all
you
the
from
people
that.
like,
I guess you there won't be another nigga that acts
Because
that,
keep
though.
in mind, he got big concessions because he's worth that shit. He got big concessions for his shit, and they don't want to ever have to make them big concessions again.
No.
So let's run the media
Exactly,
circuit
bro.
with this could be the end of Hollywood XYZ.
To
like
try to
these white
deter
niggas
people.
haven't
Nigga,
been here
go-
doing
What
it.
are we talking
Fuck outta here.
The fuck
Good.
that nigga directed that movie. That nigga did 2 separate
Start a
continuous
different
shots.
shit. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
True.
This nigga
There's a
did
shot,
2
right?
separate
Yes.
shots. The one where the Asian woman is talking and then the daughter goes to get
Yeah,
the mom.
walking
That
across
was
the street.
insane.
That shot was
One
nuts.
shot,
It was one
no
constant
fuck-ups.
shot, bro.
And what are we talking about? Then the dancing
too.
scene.
Yep.
And
And
then
then there was another shot too where, bro, it was Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. Like they were, I don't know what shot it was, but like the camera was moving in a certain way to where like he had to have shot that bitch like 2 or 4, maybe 6, 7 times, doing the same exact movements to catch their face, like both in the same shot.
What was the context of the scene?
I think
they
I think
walking
they
back
were.
and forth, and it was like
I think they were like entering the car or something like that. Was it like,
Remember?
bro? It was either they were coming back It was after they picked up Buddy Num.
Damn,
the
I
dude
don't
with
remember.
the Preacher Boy?
Yeah, Preacher Boy. It was after they picked up Preacher Boy. I think I don't know what scene it was,
I
but
don't
it was
remember.
a continuous shot with both Michael B.
Either
Jordan
way,
and
it was
the
crazy.
shot.
Because
It was crazy.
More
Crazy.
context before we even like drop this off. I wanted to talk about like, so this is what the chairman of Warner Bros. Studios said, Michael D. Luca, if that's how you pronounce his name. He was talking about the whole thing of like, oh, Hollywood ending, and was basically, this is what he said. He said they talked about this as an existential threat to the industry. I mean, it's so ignorant and laughable, he says. Of course, it's not a make or break thing for any studio or industry. It was a competitive situation. Ryan himself went on record saying he was going to get it from someone else, and he made a pretty effective case for the movie, especially with its themes of black ownership. This is very important and personal to him, and frankly, we're proud to be able to give it to Ryan. Mind you, Ryan Coogler, which a lot of people didn't put in.
If it wasn't Warner, he would have went with somebody else.
He would have went with someone else, and a lot of people are
and they
not
would have said
putting
yes
this in the
eventually because the nigga
It's Ryan Coogler.
It's Ryan Coogler. You have two, bro. It's one thing to have a hit movie, to have a hit series.
He got like
have a
3
hit
box
series.
office hits.
Yes.
Like
As a
hits.
series. Creed, you
Yeah.
make
He's not a
Creed,
scrub.
and 2 Black Panther.
You got Black Panther. Like
You're
nigga,
notable.
He's not a scrub.
Mind you, the one thing that these fucking dirty ass news things are putting in their shit was Ryan Coogler literally stated, he was like, I'm only doing this once. I'm not going to do it again for any other films. He was like, the main point of this was to show and connect the themes of black ownership. He's like, I'm not going to ask again for another. If he makes another film, he's not going to ask for ownership. He only did it for this movie. And then he said,
it makes sense for this movie, too.
Exactly. And this is what he stated. He said, we've got our own culture, stories, and music, but we've got our own ears, which means we've got our own minds and attention. With that, you know so much of what you can claim of your own like culture, and you can't escape that with Black Power. And he was saying that, and I'm like, bro, that literally connects with the movie.
the movie. That makes sense.
It wouldn't make sense for him to
W.
do this movie and then not own his fucking
Yeah.
film.
The
Like,
ending
like-
scene in the movie is a man, like he goes in, a black man goes to be with his family after murdering the entire Klan. And you're telling me that we should let white people be the main beneficiaries? No, for this movie in particular.
No.
niggas
I
can
was
have
like,
it.
I was-
you're bullshit.
Literally, I was geeking at the scene when he was talking to the little girl about negotiation, because I literally was thinking about how he was negotiating with different execs, because he was
They
like,
did that like 2 or 3 times. They
Yeah.
that, like
Putting them on game financial literacy.
Yeah,
Literally.
financial literacy.
There was so much stuff like
It was,
jam packed
bro.
into the
So
movie.
much.
So
It was
many
so many
positive
things that
to, like-
connected it, bro.
Yeah.
and that movie
much
was
real
just genius. And
That I was saying, I said it when
ahead.
we watched it. That movie is one of the most sociological movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
If you have never had or taken a sociology class, we were walking down the street talking about it the other day. Sociology needs to be taught in high school, because if you understood sociology, you can understand all the societal like critiques that are there. And maybe a lot of us get it, but you just don't understand it's studied within that field. That it was so like good when it came to everybody playing their role, that diversity being celebrated, but also acknowledging the complications that come with that. How people look at us. That one dude, the bigger dude who was guarding the door, whatever,
Yeah.
he got turned.
Yeah.
Be your own people, man. the kind, well-mannering black person who's also a COON.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's so many.
It
so
felt
many
like
things, bro.
everybody was like a main character in that bitch, bro.
Yeah.
It's
That's-
crazy.
I felt
I
like
think,
everybody
bro,
had they like share. Yeah.
I think if you can bring up hidden symbolism in a film to connect it to societal issues, you're a genius.
so much.
Yeah.
It was so much. It was layered.
It was
it was layered too
Overall,
much.
great-
W
overall
fucking
great
movie.
W fucking
Go
movie.
watch it.
Run it
Go
up.
watch it.
Run it
bro,
up.
bro.
Shout out to
Ryan,
Ryan
bro. I
Coogler.
was gonna say shout out to you,
Ryan
bro.
Coogler,
That
bro,
ass.
Yeah.
you are a genius. Thank
And
you
I would
so
love
much.
Come on
to
and
do a
jam.
damn episode.
Yeah,
Come on,
absolutely.
Coogler,
Because you
bro.
know he cool.
Oh
as
my
hell.
god, that'd be crazy.
But that was insane. Gonna go watch it again if you haven't already. Do it. Let's move into our final like 30 seconds. We got final 10 for y'all.
Final 10.
We
What's the comment you're
have
thinking
some
of, bro?
comments that we want to read from y'all. Again, comment with the hashtag JaamTalks on all platforms. On every platform. We be seeing some of y'all on Spotify. We be seeing y'all on TikTok, Instagram. Some of y'all on TikTok and Instagram just be going in the comment section. Use the hashtag JaamTalks.
Use the hashtag on bro.
We only got time for one.
We only
Okay.
got time.
Who's
getting
the
the-
special comment?
Who got the special?
Who getting the special?
Wait, I thought you already had
Yeah.
him. I thought you had him. You had him, right?
Yeah, I think I do. All right, we got a comment from Spotify. His name is Subuster.
Ooh,
Buster.
First things first, props to y'all. Thank you, really appreciate
Appreciate
you.
you.
man.
Appreciate you, bro.
It's cool as hell seeing brothers a few months apart from me on the path to success and hope. And I hope my topic makes sense. If each of you had something small you could suggest or recommend that someone our age could look into or could do better themselves, whether physically or mentally, what would it be?
Sociology.
Literally what we just said.
That's
Some
the
form of like read an article, read a book about
what you
sociology
could
or
do to
something.
better yourself. I genuinely feel like the answer is unironically sociology.
Yeah.
And that's basically the study of society, how people interact with society, like all type of shit. They'll tell you that it's not as reputable as like physics or whatever. In the academic community, like the hard sciences get more respect than like the social sciences.
Because it's more difficult, of course, right?
Right.
You're
Which- and
studying
even that-
people damn near.
Yeah, no, it's the other way around. Like sociology should get more respect because in
Yeah,
my
that's what
opinion,
I'm
it is
saying.
more difficult. Like you can quantify like what a hydrogen atom's supposed to do, but like
Yeah,
racial
that's what I'm saying.
demographic
Yeah,
patterns,
yeah.
the fuck?
It's
So,
much more complicated.
and the reason why I say that is because I feel like sociology gives you the key to help you think about your own thinking, and it helps you question a lot of base assumptions that you make every day.
That's a key.
When it
Think
is.
about your own
Thinking about your own thinking. When it comes to like even like how we do like gendered stuff, like how we talked about like is it gay to paint your nails or whatever. There are so many things that's like you will make a base assumption. Oh, that's that. I don't fuck with it. But if you think about your reasons for having that belief, you'd be like, oh fuck, I don't really have.
Yeah, start
Yeah.
peeling back those layers. It
Start
teaches
peeling
you
back those
nuance.
layers.
So yeah,
Exactly.
what was the end of that
he
comment?
had
I want to do the end
he
real
had
quick.
a second
Okay.
part of that question.
So the second part of that question was indeed, I feel like people get lost in their personal grand schemes and overlook things or get overwhelmed. Do y'all have things you could use to help stay grounded?
I think for me, what keeps me grounded is y'all.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's y'all. I
Damn
think-
yeah.
I- Literally, I think
So support systems.
Support
Having a
systems.
support system.
You, bro, I truly think, because I remember hearing The Weeknd had said, and I was like, bro, that's real. He was like, once you like lose the people who made you who you are, you lose pieces of yourself. So to remain with people who've kind of built me up keeps me grounded, because I know this is my support system and y'all have built me up. So it's like, I want to do the same for y'all. So it keeps it brings in what you were kind of saying of like the perspective of like you kind of wanting, since people are working on you, you kind of want to work on other people. It brings that empathy and kindness to other things, and I think it translates to other shit.
I think, and part of that is the accountability, because you don't ever want to have yes men around you.
For sure.
You want to be able to have hard conversations, and you want to be able to, you have to get criticized a lot to understand how to deal with the criticism. I remember like even in my personal life when I would do something, when I was like in a relationship and I'd feel like, oh, some like real bad shit that maybe like she feeling the type of way I don't really want to, like it's negative emotions. You don't want to like put yourself in that, but forcing yourself to sit there and listen and understand that like, yes, you probably did some stuff. It probably got interpreted a certain way. That's okay. You're not an evil person for that, but you have to understand that criticism. That's the only way you can grow is that. And if you have people around you that do that, well, then you stay on the real. You don't be fucking ball.
And another thing too, I want to input in there too. Let's just say if you don't have that support system, there's things that you can do. Me personally, I do meditation. Get into meditation. Get into basically just try to figure out who you are as a person.
Real.
That's real.
That's real, bro. That's what you need to hear. Like,
And you only get the real on the Jam. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. I know we was rambling for a long time, but you enjoyed it. Y'all probably gonna watch it. I know you did. Yeah, I know you did. Leave a comment. Please like, subscribe,
Please
share,
subscribe.
everything. Subscribe.
Share it.
It
I told
helps
you in the
us.
beginning.
It's free. You can take it back, but you won't take it back because it will
But you
satisfy.
won't take it back.
So please do all that good stuff. We appreciate y'all kicking it with us again on this Friday, even though it's not Friday when we filming it, but on this Friday. So have an awesome day and night wherever you may be. And see you guys.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for watching this long. If you haven't already, subscribe. What is you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? You think we just sitting here doing it for nothing?
You think you're gonna sit here and not do
Need
shit?
to
Like,
eat.
share this shit.
Click that I know you're not subscribed. Click it.
Cool.